everybody, Jacob here. At first, I want to say welcome back to another episode of Talking Terror. I'm just dropping in here at the start really quickly to address a few things. First of all, thank you so much for all the support and love y'all have shown on the Rod Blackhurst interview. It was an absolute pleasure getting to chat with Rod about Dolly and about everything else we covered in that interview. So I'm really glad to see y'all are really, really enjoying that interview. And we're hoping to book more uh, celebrity filmmaking guests in the future, coming towards June and July. We do have some people that we're reaching out to and hoping to get some stuff on the books. So definitely stay tuned for that. Second of all, I wanted to mention at the top of the hour, in honor of our review of Obsession, which is what you're tuning into right now, we wanted to do a bit of a giveaway. For this giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed to the YouTube channel and be following us on our official social medias. That is our Instagram, Talking Terra Podcast, and our Twitter at Talk Terra Pod. We'll be posting about the giveaway on our socials and on the post that you'll see on the social medias by the time this goes up. We'll ask you what you would do with a One Wish Willow, and by replying to that and of course being subscribed and proving that you're following everything, you will be entered into a giveaway, and we'll choose one lucky winner to send a One Wish Willow. There it is. It's still in the box. I think we took it out once to like look at it. I think so because we have more. So there it is. There is the One Wish Willow. So yeah, definitely enter that giveaway for a chance to win the One Wish Willow. I do know they are sold out on the Focus Feature shop right now. Not sure when they're going to restock it. So if you do want to get one, now might be your chance. So definitely tune in for that giveaway. But yes, so with all that said, again, all the details for the giveaway will be on our social medias by the time this video, or this episode rather, is uploaded to YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you're tuning in, that post should be up, and you'll have. We're planning on giving it around a week to enter, and then after that, we're going to close the deadline on that, and we'll choose a lucky winner. And if you could prove that you are uh, following everything, just send us a screenshot of you following us, and then boom, we'll send it to you. So yeah, definitely do not sleep on that right there. And with that out of the way, that is pretty much it. Once again, be sure to follow our social medias. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're tuning in via YouTube, be sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're tuning in via those streaming services, be sure to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. I believe that's how it works. There's ratings. So if you want to leave us a rating, feel free to do so. And yeah. Oh, one more thing before I get on to the full episode. I know I'm kind of droning on. There will be spoilers around, I want to say halfway through this episode. We will be making a spoiler warning before we get into the spoilers, but as of right now, we are planning on the first half of the episode to be our non-spoiler review and discussion, and the second half being our very spoiler full analysis and discussion and review. So again, there will be a another warning before we do it. We'll probably do an ad break of some kind, but there will be a warning beforehand. But I just want to let you guys know that about halfway through this episode, we will be getting into spoilers. So if you have not seen Obsession, about halfway through this, maybe hit pause, go to the theater and see it because it's awesome, and then come back and hit play and listen to the rest of our review because we are going to be getting into everything Obsession on this episode. So yeah, that about does it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Peace. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Terror. As usual, I'm your host, Jacob Harper,
And I'm your co-host, Ariani.
and today we are finally doing the long-awaited review of one of the hottest horror films of the year, Obsession.
Finally, we're diving into. I know we're a few weeks late on talking about it. It's been a very, very busy May for the Talking Terror podcast. We just got
Hmm.
back from the Texas Frightmare Weekend annual horror convention, as well as the Texas Horror Cult Film Festival on Memorial Day, Monday, just a few days ago. Which we will be covering that in next week's episode as kind of part of our May recap. There really wasn't too much going on in May besides, Obsession being like the biggest thing. So we're kind of not really killing two birds with one stone here, but we're going to be doing the Obsession review this week and then tune in next week for our Texas Frightmare weekend discussion because we have a lot to discuss about Texas Frightmare. It was a good weekend.
It really was.
One for the book, especially it was the Frightmare 20th anniversary, so it was a good one. But that's next week's problem. This week we are diving into Obsession. We have everything here needed. We have our One Wish Willows ready to go. I've taken mine out of the box a handful of times, but this is the one from the Focus Features shop. If it'll come out of the package. Oh. Yeah, there it is. I still have not broken mine, so my one wish is still secure. Is yours still in one piece, Ari?
Oh, yes, it is.
Hell yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess we should get into it with Obsession. Now, for those listening, do not worry. We're going to make the first half of this episode a spoiler-free discussion. Then, around halfway through, we're going to shift over into spoiler full discussions. There will be a warning, and I believe I've recorded some sort of like ad break thing to separate the two. So you will be able to listen without being spoiled, and then there will be a warning whenever we get into spoilers. But for now, let's get into our spoiler-free discussion of Obsession. Ariane, why don't you kick us off? Because I have a lot and a lot and a lot of thoughts on this movie.
Yeah, of course. For those who have not seen it, it was a really, really good movie. I would say one of the best movies of this year. In fact, like I loved it. I watched it twice.
That's so real. I've seen it 6 times now, which is like, yeah, you could say I'm obsessed. Yeah, it really is. Like, I think it's my not no, not even I think it is my favorite horror film of the year. I mean, Curry Barker and his team did such a great job on this one. Um, for those unaware, Curry Barker, the director of Obsession, he previously released I believe, a 60-minute. Um, I guess that was his first feature. People always kind of get picky about what qualifies as a feature, but he uploaded a 60-minute horror film for free onto YouTube that he made for $800. That went super viral, and that got more eyes on him, and that led him into making Obsession. And before that, he was making spent years making some great high quality comedy sketch videos. Um, it's weird seeing how many of those comedy sketches I had seen in the past and didn't realize it was Curry Barker. That dude's been on it for years now, so super super funny to see like his older comedic work kind of slide back into the algorithm while Obsession is playing right now. Trying to because I've seen it 6 times now, so I'm already eager to get into the spoiler full discussion. But we're going to do a spoiler free discussion first. For those unaware, Obsession follows a young man named Bear who has a crush on one of his best friends, Nikki, and he comes across One Wish Willow, this little device. And he makes a wish for his crush to love him more than anyone in the world, and that spirals into some pretty dire, disturbing consequences. It plays a lot into the classic, wishes gone wrong kind of monkey paw trope, um, but exceeds those previous kind of parameters in some pretty disturbing ways. I mean, it goes into like, consent and, codependency in relationships. And it goes to some pretty dark places, which I really, really admired. When I first saw it at South by Southwest, I had heard a lot about it from Fantastic Fest. That was one of the movies I didn't get to see at Fantastic Fest, and I heard so much good stuff about it that when I saw it at South by, I was pretty excited to see what it had in store, and I knew instantly after that first screening, I was like, this is going to be a big one. The horror community and the greater film community as a whole is not going to know what hit it, and it's looking like I feel like I was pretty dead on with that one because people are leaving this movie like just shocked. Like it's making so much money at the box office right now. It's got an amazing critic and audience score. It's great.
It deserves
So
all the hype that it gets.
agreed. No, absolutely. So I guess Ariane, give me all your spoiler-free thoughts on the film.
Yeah, of course. I When I was watching it, I thought it was very relevant to modern relationships right now. And what I really liked about it is that you get the yandere trope in anime, and then you're seeing it translated onto like real people. Like I've always wanted to see that.
Yeah, I remember you posted an Instagram story about that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is kind of that classic anime trope a little bit." I could definitely see the connection there.
Yeah,
Um,
most definitely.
and dude, Indy Navretti's performance as Nikki is generational. That's one of the performances I have not stopped and I will not stop raving about this year. Like the way we talk about, Toni Collette and Hereditary, Mia Goth and Pearl, just these great leading women in horror. Rightfully so, although those performances are fantastic. I truly do think Indy Navretti is deserving to be amongst those ranks based on her performance in this. I've seen a lot of people kind of talking about what's the possibility of her getting an Oscar from this one. Um, and a few years back, I would have said, "Oh yeah, no way," as much as I want to. But I mean, look at this year's Oscars turnout for horror, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Amy Madigan in Weapons winning, I believe, Best Supporting Actress. So now it's like, I would say anything's possible, and I truly do think if we're to take it seriously, if we're really going to get behind another uh, um, leading woman in a horror film getting an Oscar, I think as of right now, Indy Navretti is. In my opinion, the most deserving of that accolade as of right now. Again, we're only halfway through the year. Maybe some more stuff will come out this year that'll change my mind. Maybe the performance Backrooms comes out this weekend. Maybe that performance totally blows this one away. I but just Andy Navretti is amazing in this role. So I'm really hoping that come Oscar season that we're able to revisit this and be like, oh, hey, yeah, we can push this over during award
Heck yes.
season. Yeah. What do you think, Ari?
Yes, I think it's very possible, and she deserves it so much. Her performance was amazing.
Yeah, no, she was just so insanely intense because I remember my first time watching the movie. I got genuinely it got to a point where I was genuinely afraid each time she was on screen. Because it got to a point in that film where anytime she's on screen, there's such an unstable presence about her where it's just nerve-wracking. I was like, oh my God, anytime she's on screen, something terrible happens. But again, it got to a point where I was like, please, like I got startled her even being on screen because it's like something horrible is probably going to happen.
Same, even when she was off screen, I was so paranoid that she was going to show up.
Oh my God, there's one scene where like no matter how many times I rewatch it, it still gets me. We'll get into that into the spoiler full parts, but it's like it's exactly that. Even when she's off screen, you're like, oh shit, where is she? What's about to happen? Um, and Michael Johnson, who plays Bear, I feel like I've been singing a lot of praises about Indy Navretti's performance. I mean, rightfully so. She's amazing. But Michael Johnston definitely should get his flowers for this as well because he
Yeah.
plays this character in such a fantastic and almost sinister way. I read somewhere that Michael Johnston, when he was playing Bear, he was I don't want to judge the character's choices, even though the character's doing some pretty fucked up things, and is well aware of how fucked up the situation is. When he's playing that role, he's not like judging the character, which I think that's a great choice as an actor on his part because it made that character much more sinister. It's the fact that he is oblivious to just how evil he's being when he wishes for this and at a certain point understands that this person is kind of at his mercy or at his at his will and still kind of tries to make the best of it, which is horrifying and evil and disturbing in every sense of the word. But he nails that performance so well. It reminds me of this one quote where it's like the best villains are the ones who think they're the heroes. Like Bear truly for a while like thinks like no like I can make this work, and it's like dude,
Yeah.
this goes like to some beyond fucked up territory, and he's still trying to hold on to that justification, which I think made his character that much more interesting to watch. Even though we all know deep down Bear's kind of the villain here. He's the one who wished for this, and he is in turn responsible for all the horrific things that unfold in this film. But yeah, Michael Johnson's performance in this is really really fucking good. It's weird because in the early parts of the movie, the first time I watched it, I mentioned this in my review on the Horror Lounge. Shameless plug on my end, but I mean, in my first review, I was like, Bear in the beginning, you feel almost like relatable. It feels almost relatable to because I think every guy, I mean every girl has had, everyone's had that moment where they want to like, talk to their crush or like, admit they have a crush on someone and they can't quite get the word out. And there's one particular scene kind of early on in the movie in the car, and it's just like it becomes almost like cringy in a good way. Like this is the intention where he's like trying to go between, saying how he feels, but he still kind of keeps kind of, shifting around as, oh yeah, never mind, yeah, sorry. And then it's like, oh my God, dude, just fucking say it. Like and it's like I've been in that situation before where it's like you want to, say that, but then it's like you don't want to be awkward. So for the first few minutes, I was like, hey man, I get it, I feel for you. And then once he makes the wish, little by little, or not even little by little, just in ounces, you start to feel less bad for him until there's a certain point, which we'll get into in the spoiler discussion. There's key points where you're like, oh my God, dude, you're a terrible person. But in those early moments, I was like, man, it sucks how relatable he is in the very early parts, and then it's like, ah, fucking this guy. Come on, man. So yeah, Michael Johnston just really. Again, I know I've been hyping up Indy Navretti's performance, rightfully so, but I also feel like Michael Johnston needs his flowers on this one.
I
Um,
agree.
oh, speaking of Indy Navretti, this is kind of off topic. Have you seen those clips where someone found like one of her old like Twitch channels she used to stream on Twitch?
Yes, that she played Call of Duty and going ham. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
As
She's awesome.
she is. I was like, holy shit. Like, as someone who plays a little bit of Call of Duty myself, I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, she was kicking ass. I saw this one TikTok where it was like someone pretending to be Bear, and it was like, I wish Nikki was crazy on the sticks, and then he breaks the One Wish Willow, and it just cuts to that Twitch stream where she's just going like 10-0, fucking killing people.
Funny.
It's such a good. Every time I see that clip of her, just like, just tearing it up, I'm like, oh my God, she's all that's awesome. Because like, these like, undiscovered actors do all this, just do like stuff like, yeah, of course they Twitch stream and do whatever, and then you find these clips after watching her insanely haunting performance, and you see her just like kicking ass on Call of Duty. It's
Right. And
awesome.
I was thinking about it. I was just like, have I been rage baited by Indy Never Ready before?
Dude, that's the thing. I'm like, not, the chances of either of us having been killed by Indy Navretti in a Call of Duty game they're not zero. There's a good chance that I've been sent into a blind rage on Call of Duty by Nikki, um, which is just fucking hilarious. Another thing I want to touch on still in our spoiler-free discussion is the film's, well, two things, I guess, the film's cinematography and the film's lighting. The visuals in this film are amazing, and they're exemplified by the lighting. There's so many shots that have Nikki, draped in shadow, and she looks freaky as hell. There's this one. There's two particular shots that come to mind. There's the first one where they're outside the car, and this has been in all the trailers, so it's not really a spoiler. But she's just like on her doorstep, and she's just like completely shadowed. That wide shot of the house, and I'm like, that's great.
No, that was beautiful. I like that
Yeah,
shot.
especially in the context of the scene. That's like, oh, it's an amazing shot to like really kind of uh ease ease the audience into the horror, because that no spoilers, but that scene is kind of where things start to shift, because early on in the movie it's like it feels kind of nice. Well, not nice. There is an animal death like right in the beginning. Not right in the beginning, but it's before the title card. So not nice per se, but it's like for the first few minutes, it's like you're getting to know these characters. Um, which, I mean, you could tell this was, written by a person from our generation, because I'm like, this is a very accurate Gen Z like group of friends. I'm like, yeah, this is like some shit I could see happening with like people I know, or like friend groups I know of. Not all the stuff in the movie, but in the early parts where they're all working at the store, and they're like, oh, we go to the bar, and it's like, oh, don't, like, there's one part where his friend Ian is like, don't admit you have a crush on her at our bar night. Like, please don't do that. And I'm like, that's such a real conversation to have with your friend. It's like, bro, please do not confess your love to someone at this communal event that we all like going to. Please do it on your own time and don't ruin this. That's so fucking real. Because like, we all have those like things you do with friends. It's like you all go to the bar on the weekend or whatever. And it's like if something awkward happened, it could kill the whole experience.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And it's like, I feel like that's such a real conversation to have with your homie. It's like, hey man, if you're gonna do this, please don't do it whenever we're all hanging out and ruin this good time. Please do it on your own separate, time. I think just little things like that. I'm like, yeah, I could see that happening with friend groups I've known, and the social dynamics in that friend group they're messy when you really get into the nitty-gritty of it, but uh, they're at times very accurate to I guess the Gen Z social dynamics and stuff. Which, which it brings me to this point, this rumor. I want to touch on this real quick. Rant incoming. I've been seeing this rumor on the internet, mostly Twitter. I mean, of course, it's Twitter. Mostly on Twitter, that and I think it started with not even Obsession. It started with the Backrooms, and it kind of just spread to Obsession. So there was this
Yeah.
rumor that Kane Parson, the director of the Backrooms, was like ghost directed by a much more experienced older director. I've seen a lot of people who are like, "Oh, this 21-year-old couldn't have possibly made a sizable A24 original horror movie. What studio would ever let a 20-something-year-old, run a multi-million-dollar movie? He had to have been secretly being directed by a more experienced director. That's kind of the general premise of the rumor, is that with Backrooms, they had a ghost director, a much older, experienced director actually directing, while Kane Parson was just kind of helping, or was just kind of the face of the production. And then
Yeah.
that rumor, first off, that rumor is total bullshit. Kane Parson,
Mm.
those who know his work know how talented he is and how well he has crafted his world building through the back rooms, how well he's cultivated an audience to show up for that world building. I really don't think Kane Parson needs a babysitter director, and I don't think that's the case at all with Backrooms. Um, in any way, shape, or form. I think that's a ridiculous rumor. And then the rumor spread to Obsession. They got people talking about, oh yeah, I think Curry Barker also may have, they probably got someone else to direct Obsession, and there's no way. Again, it's this, and I think it stems from a few different things, but it's this bullshit idea that a younger filmmaker can't make a movie on this scale. Obsession is a brilliantly crafted movie. As a filmmaker myself, around Curry Barker's age, I am immensely impressed and inspired by his work, and to an extent, Kane Parson as well. He's around our age, and
Yeah.
he did he started making the Backrooms when he was in high school. That was a very long running web series, and then it got picked up by A24. So when people say, "Oh, no way A24 would take a risk on this," young filmmaker, like, yeah, they would. A24, who's been known to take risks creatively and financially on unique and original voices and projects. A24 is the absolute first studio I would imagine to do that. Now, if you had said like a Universal or a Warner Brothers, and one of these like very big titans of the industry,
Mm.
maybe there's something to be said about, would they trust a very, very young director with so much. But again, I think it's just total bullshit. I think it's quite a bit of ageism, and I also think it's people who are bitter, that someone as young as Kane Parson or Curry Barker could do this. I think a lot of that does stem from jealousy and bitterness. I think there's some people who are, maybe older than Kane and Curry, that are mad that, oh, no way this guy could have done that. He's so young. Okay, well, let me give you some film history. Sam Raimi was 20 to 21 years old when he made Evil Dead. He started principal photography when he was 20. The movie was released when Sam Raimi was 21 years old. So you're this cult classic, huge, franchise started because a 21-year-old made it. Way back in the 80s, Evil Dead. I mean, Spielberg was 29 when he made Jaws, one of the most influential movies of all time.
Mm.
Curry Barker's 26. Steven Spielberg was 29. you- People in their early to mid to late 20s can make very impressive, very great work. And that's not to discourage any older filmmakers. Like, obviously, I mean, at the same time, Ridley Scott, I heard, didn't make his first feature till he was 40. So it's a case by case basis. But I've seen some people accusing Curry Barker and Kane Parsons of being shadow directed, or there people who are naysayers saying that there's no way they could have done it. Well, they did do it. The actors on set confirmed that Kane Parsons was in total control the entire time. I've seen countless, it's all over my algorithm, all over my For You page. I have seen countless videos from the set of Obsession that showed Curry Barker running the show. It's very possible. I think that rumor um, it stems from both ageism in the industry, because there's a lot of people that don't like that young new filmmakers are shaking things up and making big
Yeah.
moves in the industry. And also, I think it's also a little bit of jealousy. Now, look, and hey, look, I get it. As someone who is around Curry Barker's age, who hasn't made a feature at all, let alone a feature as great as Obsession, there's something to be said about like, oh, I wish I could have done that, or I wish I was that talented. Yeah, sure, you can say that, but to to try to cope, it's a cope, really. To try to say, oh, he didn't do it himself. Shut up, he did. I mean, not himself, obviously. He had a crew. He had a great crew, which is why I was talking about the cinematography and the lighting. But just it's ridiculous that people are perpetuating that rumor. I don't know. What do you think, Ari?
No, I totally agree with you. Like, I was surprised that this is my first time hearing about this rumor, and I think it's total bullshit. Like, there are young people that are talented, and they should get the recognition that they deserve.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, again, I can't stress this enough. Evil Dead. That is so many people's favorite horror film. Made by when it was being made, Sam Raimi was 20. So, Curry Barker being 26, Ken Parsons being, I think he's 23 now. He was, I believe, no, I think he's 20 or 21 now. But I believe he was 18 when he started making the Backrooms film. Yeah, man, that's entirely possible. Some people just know how to, work in that environment and do that. And, obviously resources is one thing, but to say they were ghost directed and they didn't actually do it is, in my opinion, total bullshit. So that's something I want to touch on before, in the spoiler-free topic is, don't believe the haters, don't believe the bullshit rumors. I think Curry Barker and Kane Parsons are both absolutely talented young individuals who, I mean, by all accounts, from people who were on set, people who, knew the production, it's obvious they directed it. It's obvious. So, yeah, that's just something that I've been seeing on Twitter the last like 2 days or so that pissed me off. I figured what better way to talk about it than on our Obsession review. So, very, very random rant from me, but had to get that out there. Curry Barker, I have it in my notes right here on my other screen. Curry Barker did direct this. I've seen the behind the scenes videos. I've listened to interviews. I've read interviews. I've seen interviews. He knows what he's doing. And also, another thing, people say this is overnight. A lot of people say, oh, this is an overnight success. This guy got famous overnight. Maybe famous, but this wasn't just he didn't wake up and suddenly direct Obsession. Curry Barker, I mean, he's been making high quality, well-made comedy sketches for years now. There's some comedy sketches I've seen for years that I didn't know were Curry Barker, and then they've been kind of coming back up on my algorithm, and I'm like, oh, there he is. Yeah, that's Curry Barker, and I remember this skit. He's been making quality work for years now. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little ridiculous to perpetuate that rumor.
I agree, and it's very well said. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
bringing that up, Jacob.
Yeah, of course. Sorry for the long-winded rant there, but yeah, that pissed me off. Um, did you have anything about I remember you mentioned before you had something about the lighting.
Oh, right. In this movie, they do play with the lighting a lot, which I really appreciated. There's this phenomena called pareidolia, where in ambiguous lighting and like shadows, you start to see shapes. And I think we saw that in Skinamarink as well. Skinamarink, yes.
Yeah, Skidamore mentioned. That's like my sleeper agent activation word. Anytime someone brings up that movie, I gotta chime in. Yeah, no, Skinamarink definitely does play with that, and there's a few distinct scenes in Obsession, and again, I know our people who have seen Obsession are excited to get into the spoilers of it, but without spoilers, there's a scene in Obsession that plays with shadows and the like how we perceive faces and like low lighting, and it does it so insanely well that when I saw it at South by Southwest, there was that moment, and people listening that have seen the movie will know what I'm talking about, the bedroom scene. That scene, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, that scene is when I knew this was going to be something great. That's when I was like, this is going to be something for the horror community. So yeah, I Obsession definitely plays with that in some pretty frightening ways, and Skinamarink also does, which is why I love Skinamarink. God, Skinamarink is so good. I could do a whole podcast episode about Skinamarink, which for any Skinamarink fans in the audience, we did do an interview with Kyle Edward Ball, the director of Skinamarink, so you could find that here on the channel as well. Again, take a shot every time I do a shameless plug on the show, but yeah, you could you could check out that interview as well, where I get to nerd out with the director of Skinamarink about Skinamarink. So that was super fun. But anyway, more on Obsession. One other thing I wanted to touch on is more to the film's technical value. It was made for a $750,000 budget. 750K. That is very, very low for this quality of movie. A lot of movies of this quality you may think has a few million behind it. This is $750,000 it took to make this. I believe it was all shot, or most of it, I believe, was shot within a 20-day span. Within a 20-day span. Um, and so 20 days, $750,000, and this is what the movie looks like. That's great. That shows how to utilize your crew, how to utilize time. I think that was awesome. So, and also what more on that, it is now become one of the most profitable at the time of this recording. Obsession has become one of the most profitable horror films of the 21st century. It took a $750,000 budget, and I think it's currently at, what is it at now? Okay, I'm reading this report from Polygon. Shout out to Polygon. Um, it has raked in $75 million at the time of this article being written. So
Oh, damn.
750, yeah, yeah, exactly. $750,000, 750,000, less than a million, has turned into $75 million. Yeah. And on top of that, it made even more money on its second weekend, this past weekend, while we were at Texas Frightmare. It made even more money than it did its opening weekend, which is a rarity in this industry for any genre, but especially for a low budget feature length, horror film. Usually when a movie makes it at the opening box office, like opening weekend, that's the peak. It only goes down from there typically. But in the case of Obsession, by almost purely word of mouth, people talking about how great the movie is, it has gone even higher in its second weekend. Um, Reading more on it here. This comes from Jason Blum, head of Blumhouse, who was one of the production companies involved with Obsession. I believe they handled distribution for the most part on this. I know Focus Features won Obsession at an auction. I think Blumhouse got involved with it afterwards. But Jason Blum took to Twitter on May 24th and said, Obsession is the only wide release horror film on record to grow in its second weekend at this scale. $22.4 million up, 30% over opening. This doesn't happen in horror. And he said, grateful to Focus Features, Blumhouse, Atomic Monster, and Divide and Conquer for championing this movie from the start. So, yeah, it made 30% more on its second weekend, which is unheard of. I thought I read somewhere that it's become one of the most profitable movies of the 21st century when you compare how much went into it and how much of a return you get. The only other movies that I think come to mind with this level of return was, Paranormal Activity, which was made for a very, very modest budget. I don't recall off the top of my head how much it cost to make Paranormal Activity, but it was a ridiculously low budget movie that through marketing and word of mouth in the theaters turned a giant profit. Blair Witch Project is another one. Um, but I don't think any have done it at this scale. Like 30% up on the second weekend is insanity. So it's and I know I keep saying and I keep and feel free to cut me off, Ariana. I know I'm yapping.
No, you're good.
But another thing that has come from this that is that Blumhouse said to Variety is that keeping Obsession in theaters longer before moving into digital, he said, quote, "It's a big topic of conversation at the moment," adding that he is a, quote, "big believer in a long, consistent theatrical window." And that's something, if y'all have read some of my work on Book and Film Globe, you know how passionate I am about upping that theatrical window. I wrote a piece back in I believe February 2025, where Companion, for those who were watching that movie and its box office run, it was put on digital less than 2 weeks after its opening weekend. Less than 2 weeks at theater exclusivity. Back in the day, I always say back in the day, there was the 90-day theatrical window. A movie was in theaters for 90 days. You could see it in theaters before you could ever see it on digital. And we've been quickly moving away from that and shrinking that theatrical window to where movies are coming to digital way, way faster than ever before. But Obsession is making so much money at the box office that studios and Blumhouse and Focus Features are saying, no, no, let's keep it open. Let's keep it in theaters longer. Let's not rush to digital yet. Which is something that makes me so insanely happy because I am sick to death of movies. If they don't make $500 million opening weekend, they're thrown onto digital very, very quickly. I am so sick of that trend in Hollywood right now of just dumping movies off on streaming or video on demand whenever it takes a slight dip in numbers or it's not performing as highly as they expected. I think that's insane. I think the secret is you got to give movies time to breathe. Not everyone can make it out the first weekend. That's why you keep it open for a few weeks or, like I said, 90 days. You let people, especially when there's so many movies, there's more movies coming out than ever before. The theaters are packed each weekend with multiple movies. So, you have so much to choose from that if you don't choose one movie, you might not see it in the theaters again for you might miss it in theaters. So, the fact that this is maybe shifting back to back to the old style of theatrical windows, the longer theatrical windows makes me very, very happy. That was a very long-winded, nerdy rant about theatrical windows. I'm sure everyone here was wanting me to talk about how great Obsession is, and I am. But oh my God, that like keeping movies in theaters longer is a big, big thing for me. And the fact that Obsession is able to kind of move that needle a little bit in the direction I would like it to go is great. So yeah.
I agree with you.
What are your thoughts, Ariane, on all this? The money, the theatrical windows. Let me hear it.
My thoughts is that I I don't know much about it, but I do agree with what you are saying, and I'm learning a lot more about theatrical releases now through you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I mean you got to keep movies in theaters, man. You got to give them time to breathe. You let word of mouth build. You let audiences discover it. If you throw it on video on demand or whatever, it gets lost in the endless. noise of all the other stuff that's streaming out there. If you keep it in the theaters longer, you bring people to the theaters and you let people discover, you let people hear about it. Again, word of mouth
Yeah.
has been such a effective tool for this film that I mean, I think if this trend continues, we could really see a positive turnaround for um, the theater industry and the movie industry as a whole. But yeah, that's my nerdy rant on theatrical windows there, and and with Obsession. Uh, Trying to think if there's anything else to really touch on for the spoiler free stuff. Do you have anything else, Ari?
I do not. But what is next for Curry Barker?
Yes, true. Before we head into the spoiler full zone for any of our listeners that haven't seen Obsession and you're using this podcast as use this podcast as a sign to go watch it. But before you do, before you buy your ticket, I wanted we should talk about what Corey Barker has next coming down the pipelines. He has I believe he's already shot his next feature film, which is a paranormal ghost film, or I believe just a paranormal film called Anything But Ghosts. If I'm getting that right. Anything But Ghosts. Yeah. So Corey Barker's next feature is described as a supernatural horror comedy, Anything But Ghosts. And the premise, I love this premise. It follows two con artist ghost hunters played by Curry Barker and Cooper Tomlinson, who played Ian in the film. And they have such great chemistry. They again like both Cooper and Curry have been doing a lot. Like, did a lot of uh, uh, comedy sketches together. You know, they're usually the two main guys in these comedy sketches, so they have great chemistry. So it's great to see that he's not only directing but starring in this next feature. Um, So it's these two con artist ghost hunters who fake hauntings using special equipment. Um, However, they eventually encounter a real and dangerous dark entity. Um, so that I think is super super cool. What do you think, Ari?
Yes, I think that's super cool too, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think it's a super fun premise. Um, And after that, he is doing Chainsaw Massacre, as y'all may recall when we talked about it on our I believe it was our March wrap or our April wrap up episode. Excuse me. It was our April wrap up episode. We talked about Corey Barker is set to helm the next Chainsaw Massacre film. Um, and in that episode, I had expressed some not concern, but I wanted to talk about what I feel like a proper Chainsaw Massacre movie needs. And that was family. I think the family aspect is insanely important. I think that's what's been kind of lost on the last few Chainsaw Massacre movies. I think that's the secret sauce that makes them good. And I feel like the last two movies have kind of done away with that. And I think that's what made them less, in my opinion, less enjoyable as Chainsaw Massacre movies. So that's my biggest concern is if Curry Barker was going to bring it back to its family roots. And thankfully, I think it was right after that episode was released, Curry Barker did say he wanted to really hone in on the family aspect, which made me very, very happy. So Curry Barker confirmed, knows what he's doing. If Obsession wasn't enough, that part, that interview, I don't recall the exact interview, but him saying he wanted to bring back the family aspect really solidified my hope in his Chainsaw Massacre film.
Yeah, same. I'm excited for it.
Yes, dude. Oh, I'm so hyped. So again, that's a little ways off. I believe in an interview recently he said he hasn't even started writing it. So it's still we're still a ways off. He's obviously trying to. I believe he's in post production on Anything But Ghosts. Um, or maybe he hasn't even shot it yet. I'm not sure, but um, yeah, I mean, Curry Barker's got some great stuff coming down the pipeline. we're definitely here to check it out. We're hyped for it, and it's super cool to see, a younger filmmaker really taking this industry and this genre by storm with some good original fucked up horror movies. Oh, and speaking of Chainsaw Massacre, I found out from an interview from uh, actually a friend and colleague of mine, yeah, a good friend and colleague of mine, Josh Levesky, great interviewer, great horror social media critic. He interviewed Curry Barker and Michael Johnston about Obsession. And at the end of his interview, this wasn't even a question. He was like, "Oh yeah, like it'd be super cool." It was like, "Yeah, it's super cool that you're doing Chainsaw Massacre." And Michael Johnston, who plays Bear in the film, said that he is technically already in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe.
Hmm.
And he is because he was the motion capture and I believe voice actor for one of the main characters in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, one of the main victims.
Oh,
So, and
that's
Curry
cool.
Barker apparently didn't even know that. He was like, "Oh, that's so funny." I know Michael Johnston said I think he said he wants to be in Barker's Chainsaw Massacre film. And Indy Navretti said she wants to do more horror movies. So, I mean, I think Curry Barker should cast the both of them in Chainsaw Massacre. Anyway, that was a total little side tangent. I just saw that interview that Josh did was had a really funny moment where Curry Barker realized that the lead in this movie is technically in the Chainsaw Massacre universe because the Chainsaw Massacre video game is canon to the first film at least. So love that for them. Anyway, that about, I think, does it for our spoiler-free portion of the Obsession review. Um, we're going to take a quick pause before we go into our spoiler full discussion. And anyone who has not seen Obsession yet, please pause the episode now, go to your local movie theater, buy a ticket, go watch it, then come back and listen to us gush about all the insanely scary and freaky shit in this movie. So yeah, thank you so much to our spoiler free crowd for listening, and go watch Obsession.
Hey guys, Jacob here. Just wanted to pop in and talk to you a little bit about Fangoria. Now, most horror fans have obviously heard of Fangoria before. First in Fright since 1979. They are one of the very best in horror press. Uh, they have been delivering the goods to horror fans for decades now, bringing us the latest and greatest reviews, interviews, coverage, articles, everything you could want in a horror press outlet. Their magazines are amazing quality, and their covers are second to none. Obviously, I mean, look at that. This is the latest cover I have received from Fangoria, Volume 2, Number 31, and you can see some Faces of Death action going on there. It's a really sweet cover, and this cover and many other great ones like it are only exclusive to subscribers. So that is the subscriber exclusive cover. The other covers you could find on your local newsstand, bookstores, wherever you get your magazines. But these great covers are for subscribers only. And if you want to be a subscriber and get your hands on some Fangoria goodness, you could use my discount code Jacob the Harper to get 20% off an entire one-time subscription. Or if you're already subscribed to Fangoria, you could still use that discount code to get 20% off an entire order on the Fangoria online shop. You can get swag, t-shirts, mugs, pins, older magazines. They sometimes, unvault some older stuff, which is super cool. Yeah, there's lots to choose from and lots to get 20% off of with my discount code Jacob the Harper. That's JACOBTHEHRPER. That's Jacob the Harper. That'll get you 20% off an entire order or a 20% off an entire one-time subscription to Fangoria if you're not already subscribed, which I'll be honest, you really, really should be. Because look at that. This amazing cover and some amazing, great articles inside. I mean, I always anticipate getting a new Fangoria in the mail. And one of my favorite things is just sit back and to flip through it, read some great articles, some great interviews, and also just, again, it's they cover everything. They have the independent stuff, blockbusters, everything going on in the horror genre. Fangoria has a lock on it. So be sure to get yourself a subscription to Fangoria using my discount code Jacob D Harper. That's JACOBTHEHARPER. Or again, if you are already subscribed, you can use that discount code to get yourself some Fangoria swag at their online store. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into this ad break, and now let's get back to the show. Peace.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So now we are getting into our spoiler discussion of Obsession. If you didn't hear me earlier, this is your final warning before getting into spoilers. If you haven't seen Obsession yet, pause this podcast, go watch Obsession, and then come back because we are getting into all the frightening and gory meat of this story. So. I guess we'll start with that the fucking opening with the well, it's not technically the opening, but it's part of the opening, the cat. Yeah.
Right. Oh God, cat dead.
Yeah. R.I.P. Sandy. And it's funny because it's like I didn't catch it on my first watch, but it's like that the cat dying is symbolic of a number of things that play into the story. First and foremost, it shows that Bear is irresponsible and does not take any responsibility for his actions. He sees this dead cat and he's like, "How'd you get into these?" It's like, fucking cat doesn't have thumbs, bro. You left that pill bottle open.
Oh, shit. Took
Yeah.
no accountability for it.
And that I mean his lack of accountability and just general irresponsibleness and just inability to you know take care of his bullshit and own up to his mistakes is even more reflected in by the end of the movie.
Mhm.
Um, because another thing that works with the cat dying is it foreshadows how Bear dies. They overdose on the same drugs. So that's a great kind of setup into what happens at the end. And I saw some people complaining that excuse me. I saw some people complaining that the cat dying. I see a lot of people complain whenever animals die in horror movies, and I get it, but this served a purpose. It wasn't for shock value. It had actual merit in the story. So I really dug that. R.I.P. Sandy.
For real.
Yeah. Um, is there any particular part from like the opening or the first few minutes that really like stuck out with for you?
Yeah, I thought like, after his cat died, he acted like very weird about it. Like I get it, there was that scene with him like crying and
Hmm.
stuff, but at the same time, wait, wasn't he saying stuff like and prove me wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he crying more about like Nikki than Sandy?
Uh, I mean, he didn't know Nikki was quitting until
Okay.
after he was crying.
Okay.
So I do think he was genuinely crying about Sandy dying. I think he genuinely felt sad about it. It's just also like, don't leave your dead grandmother's drugs out. That's
Why does
another
he even
cool.
have those?
Well, because he mentioned that he inherited the house from his dead grandmother. Um, and which is another cool thing. I like the set design because it looks like an old person's house that's slow. That's he's been trying to make into a more like his space. Like you see his like computer desk and all that. But like most of the house does look like an old person lived there. Like you see like all the baby pictures on the wall and just it looks like an older person's house, which is a really neat set design detail.
I agree.
And I think there's something else about the house I meant to mention. I'm sure it'll come back to me like way down the line. Um, But yeah, that opening was great. I love the title card being sewn into the blanket. It was just, I mean, I don't think it really had any like story significance. I just thought the title card looked cool. I like when filmmakers do like a physical title card instead of like I mean, like the typical, VFX edited in one, but like just when filmmakers have like a physical title card, it looks really cool.
So too. And I thought it was like really fitting because like to me, Bear was the one that was obsessed
Yeah,
with
well,
Ian.
yeah, definitely. His obsession is what started this whole thing. Um, he was just so he had such tunnel vision on Nikki that he was kind of he didn't even see that Sarah really liked him, which made that that whole car scene, which we'll get into the car scene in a bit, but that made that whole thing that much more like, oh my God, dude, like, come on, bro, you fumbled. Um, oh yeah, that's the detail I was gonna bring up about the house. One thing I noticed is this is just a funny set design detail. At Bear's like computer desk with his he has like a PC and all that. On his desk, he has a bottle of lotion. I just thought that was funny because he's kind of like a kind of like a doesn't have a lot of confidence. It's probably catch my drift. He's probably online a lot, but um, but yeah, I thought that was a funny little set design detail on the house. And then, they go to the trivia night, which is funny because I sometimes go to a Jeopardy night with my parents, and that's also like every Wednesday or something. So when he's like, when Ian has that line where he's like, "I wake up every Wednesday morning, rock hard, excited for trivia. Don't ruin." I was
It's so
uh,
funny.
I wouldn't say I'm rock hard for trivia, but I mean it's I do go to trivia on Wednesdays sometimes, and so I thought that was a funny, I thought it was a funny line, um, which I don't know if I should get into it now. Maybe I'll save it for later, but I definitely have thoughts on Ian Cooper's character. He's a great actor, by the way. I know he and Curry Barker did a lot of, as we previously mentioned, they've done a lot of comedy sketches together. He does a fantastic job in this one. But I definitely have thoughts on this character that I guess we could save when we get into the group dynamics. Um, and anything else from like the opening that we should bring up?
Oh, we skipped over the confession scene.
Yeah, at the diner. Yeah, that's the actual opening. That's like the first thing that happens in the movie. Um, Ian is such a dick, man.
For real, I thought that was a really good confession. It was honest, it was open.
Yeah, I do agree. It was a little bit sappy, and like once you actually do meet Nikki's character, I kind of agree with Ian that you probably wouldn't like that whole like. It's like how like you do in a rom-com, you just pour your whole heart out there. It's like okay, I wouldn't have done it that hard, but. No, what, whatever. I did think Ian was being kind of a dick about it when he was like, she's gonna fucking vomit, dude. That made me uncomfortable. It's like, oh God, bro, come on, like, come on, this is your homie. Which I mean, I guess screw it. We can get into the group dynamics now. The fact that Ian was speaking honestly, he did know what Nikki would like because we find out that they've been hooking up.
Right.
Can I just say, I guess we'll get into it now. Ian, I think, is maybe one of the worst best friends in a horror movie. Maybe not the worst, but he's up there in terms of shitty friends in horror movies. Because, like, what do you mean this is your day one homie? Y'all have all know, like, it's mentioned that, Sarah, Nikki, Ian, and Bear have all known each other since high school. Like, this is your day one homie. You know he has a huge crush on Nikki, and you're like actively sleeping with her while giving him like advice on how to like date her, on how to like ask her out. And it's like, dude, I was like, that's so scummy. What a dick. That's fucking crazy work. Which I didn't even pick up until like my like second or third watch of the movie that Sarah almost lets that tells Bear that earlier in the film. It
Yeah.
is right before he ate the cat sandwich. That and she was like, "Well, if Ian's gonna, talk about this, and you should know that Ian." And then she gets like cut off because her dad had one of the college letters,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh shit!" She was probably about to tell him that Ian is hooking up with Nikki on the side. Yeah, damn. But I think what else to like? I'm like all over the place. There's so much to dive into on Obsession. Is
No,
there any,
that's so real.
is there any particular topic that you wanna go after?
Since we're talking about Sarah's dad, I would like to say that Sarah's dad was played by Andy Richter, and I love him, dude. He's the co-host for Conan O'Brien's late night show that he had.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I thought he's hilarious. And like I did not catch that it was him until the second watch. I was like, dude, that's Andy Richter.
Yeah. It's funny because he's like the most notable actor in this movie. He has like the largest like I think he's like the most famous actor in this movie, and he's in it for like maybe like 5 minutes tops.
Yeah,
Not even. I don't even think it's 5 minutes. I think it's closer to like maybe 2 minutes tops. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I was like, dude, way to let your young like up and coming actors shine, man. That's the thing. This whole cast is great.
for real.
You know. I know we raved about Michael Johnston and Indy Nevretti, rightfully so. They're both amazing. But Cooper, let me double check, make sure I'm pronouncing both their names right. Yeah, Cooper Tomlinson and Megan Lawless, uh, Ian and Sarah. They both did a very good job. Yeah, I feel
He
like
did.
kind of want to shout them out because I mean, again, Indy Nevretti is amazing. Michael Johnston is awesome. The whole cast is great in this film. And I guess more into the friend dynamics. Like I've seen so many people like talking about this, but now that more people have seen it, they're like, if this whole if this whole friend group would just be honest about shit, we could have avoided a lot of problems.
Right.
Like if Ian told Bear, "Hey man, me and Nikki have slept together a few times," maybe that would have opened up some sort of dialogue. And if Sarah had just been like, "Hey Bear, I like you," or whatever, that maybe have helped some things out if everyone's just honest. But of course, with a lot of friend groups, just there's always gonna be miscommunications, and it's just that the miscommunications in this movie are fucking deadly. We lead to some pretty dire consequences. Also, Sarah's last name in the movie is Harper, and I thought that was funny because that's my last name. I was like, oh, I was like, hey, um, yeah, I know we're kind of jumping around here. I'm trying to think after the yeah, because after the bar scene, they're going home. He's taking a Nikki home.
Wait. We skipped over the store scene when he's like trying to buy the new necklace for her.
True, yeah. Oh my God, we almost skipped over the first sighting of the One Wish Willow. Yeah, show off the One Wish Willows. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's like someone pointed out on Twitter. I don't recall who it was. I think it was actually a friend of mine. I think it was my friend Audra on Twitter. I believe it was her who pointed out that Nikki actually has the eyes of Ra on her arms,
Oh.
like tattooed on them. And I was informed that Ra is the sun god.
Mhm.
And there's a line where he's shopping through the store and the the woman at the desk who small role, but it was really funny how she was talking on the phone and talking to Bear, and it was like he picks up a necklace and she's like, "Oh my God, that's crazy!" And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh no, sorry, yeah, so that's on sale for." It's like it was a funny moment, but she points out that the necklace he was looking at is basically like sunshine and a rock.
Oh
And
wow.
Bear's like, oh, Nikki would hate that. And I said, but actually, based on her tattoos, she probably would have liked it.
Dang. He did
And
not know her at all.
that's the thing. He just sees this version of her. He thinks that she's like some like I guess like alt like badass or whatever. But she was there's nuance there. Like yeah, she probably would have liked the Sun Rock. And someone it's also funny. It shows how just Bear clearly isn't actually thinking about Nikki like as a person. He completely abandons the idea of getting her a crystal necklace and gets something that he thought looked cool. And it's just like he's oh I like this better. It's like you're not shopping for you, you're shopping for I was like fucking idiot.
Exactly, that pissed me off, bro.
Like bro, you're shopping for this girl you're trying to ask out, and you're like I like this better. Well, it's not about what you like, it's about what the girl would like, right? So
Exactly.
more Bear being kind of a dumbass when it comes to actually caring about the person he claims to care about. And someone also pointed out, I'm doing a lot of like just taking from Twitter anecdotes because this movie's been out for 2 weeks now, and people have had time to come out and give their own takes on it and point out things. Um, Someone pointed out that all the bad shit starts happening to Nikki after she loses her crystal necklace. I know to some people, having a crystal necklace is like kind of a protection
Hmm.
from, bad things and evil and harm. And it's like someone pointed out that after she loses that necklace, like that same night, Bear uses the One Wish Willow and her, I mean, she just completely, the whole thing kind of derails. And I was like, oh, that's a neat little detail. Um,
That's true.
but yeah, he finds the One Wish Willow on the shelf, which by the way, I love this packaging. Apparently, I saw in an interview that Curry Barker and his mom designed this. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, but I was like, oh, that's super cute. And also on the One Wish Willow, apparently he researched a bunch of different like wishing artifacts throughout cultures. Like you have the monkey's paw, you have the wishbone, you have shooting stars, you have all this stuff. And he couldn't really decide on one to use as like the object, so he kind of just created his own. And they landed on the One Wish Willow, like a stick that you break and you make a wish. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I kind of just kind of made his own mythology there. I mean, he took elements from, shooting stars and monkey paws and all that, mostly monkey paws, I think, but kind of made his own thing with it and gave it this really, really, again, really adorable, very 1950s like toy art, which I really dig. And also, this is from the Focus Feature Shop. You can see on the back, it's like a whole bunch of warnings. It's like not responsible for any harm that falls upon you.
Have you called the number?
I haven't actually. I have not called the number.
Dude, you should. It's so funny.
Is it the same customer service guy from the movie?
Yeah, basically. And then that was also Curry Barker, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, he'll basically tell you, like you should have read the warnings on the box and stuff, and we're not responsible. I thought it was funny.
I love that whole scene. I mean, not to jump ahead too far, but I guess while we're on the topic, I love that whole customer service call scene. And he calls and it's like, hey. It's like, hello. It's like, what's up? Is this One Wish Willow? Yeah. I was wondering, and there's also a lot of people have been a lot of people have said, "Oh, well, Bear's not that bad. He did try to cancel the wish." It's like, well, first he tried to alter the wish.
Exactly.
He didn't jump straight to canceling it. He was like, "Let me see if I can salvage what I want out of this,"
Mhm.
which shows that he really did not have Nikki's well-being in mind. He was still very much like, how do I benefit from this? Let me try to you know,
Yeah.
fix this for me, not fix this for Nick. Let me fix this for me. Um, and then once he realized that that was out of the question, he was like, well, then I'd like to cancel. And then they're like, yeah, we don't really do that either. Which I love that back and forth. It's like, we don't really do that. We don't really alter wishes. Would you like to file a cancel a request? Then yes, I'd like to file a cancel request. We don't really do that either. So you made it sound like you did. I was just trying to guess your intentions, man. Just that whole back and forth was hilarious. It had my theater laughing. Um, and then almost immediately is like one of the scariest fucking scenes in the like parts in the movie, audibly at least, is when he's like, "Do you want to talk to her? Do you want to talk to Nikki?" And he like patches it through, and you hear Nikki just screaming on the other end. That freaked me the hell out. I was like, Jesus, what oh my God. It's horrifying. But like you could hear what her like soul is like like you'd hear her screaming. That's so freaky. Just that moment was like very well done because you go from laughing about the nonchalant customer service agent to being really freaked out at Andy Navretti's staticky scream over the phone.
Right.
And again with Bear, Bear like hears and witnesses the most fucked up things imaginable, and then just goes on about his day. Dude's a fucking psycho.
Exactly.
Like he had that like haunting phone call where he heard Nikki screaming on the other end, and then he just went inside and then went to a party that same night. But like it was chill. I was like, dude, are we gonna ignore that?
Exactly.
Dude.
To me, for most of the movie, it felt like he was being willfully ignorant about how Nikki was acting.
Yeah, for quite a bit. He was really trying to just dig his head in the sand and be like, "Oh, this is weird, but we can manage it." And it's like, dude,
Right.
like this is an awful thing that's going on.
Exactly. Like she literally just lost her autonomy. It's crazy.
And someone pointed out that he like tries to like soft parent, like gentle parent Nikki,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, "Hey, please don't cook my cat." I said, "Bro, just this is your fault, bro."
Exactly.
Which the cat sandwich was great. I remember at the at my Alamo movie party screening, they gave us these sandwich boxes and a stuffed cat. That was some of the things. It was a one wish willow and the sandwich box, the cat, and a brick. Which we'll get into the brick in a minute, but um, yeah, where were we? I know we jumped ahead a little bit. Where were we before we talked about the phone call scene? It was at the shop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he buys the one wish willow. And again, I love the packaging and I love how it's shown as just kind of like a gag gift. And someone else pointed out, like, what if all the other things on that shelf actually work? Because, like, next to them were, like, some voodoo dolls.
Hmm.
And I was like, that'd be kind of cool. Um, but yeah, so he he doesn't get her a crystal necklace like he intended to. He buys something that he thought himself was cool, which was just, again, dumbass. Like on top of being a horrible, evil person, you're also just kind of an idiot. Like if you're going shopping for the girl you want to, ask out, maybe don't buy something that you think is cool.
Exactly.
Um, so then he goes to the bar with them. He gets the pina colada, which that's like the only thing I'll agree with Bear on. I also don't like the strong alcohols. If I'm at a bar, I'm getting cocktails. So that's the one thing I'll agree with Bear on. If I'm out of the bar for some trivia, I'm also getting a pina colada. So that much I'll agree with him on. Um, but then he takes her home after the bar, and on the drive, and this line didn't hit till my second viewing of it. They're talking about because Nikki is trying to write a book, and there's this line she says where she's talking about the plot of it. She's like, I want to feel love to make the story come to life. And he's like, oh, so it's a romance. And she's like, no, it's a love story, not a romance. And he's like, isn't that the same thing? And she's like, no, it's not. And that perfectly captures what obsession is. It's a love story, but it's not romance. And I was like, that's such a cool line. That again, that line hit like a ton of bricks on my second watch. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's like again, really great writing. Oh, and all, more on Bear being again, this is before all the evil shit. This is when he's just being a fucking dumbass. Okay, so on top of not buying their crystal necklace, he bought something that he himself thought was cool to give to Nikki. He doesn't even give her the damn thing. He uses it for himself.
Right. Oh my
Like
gosh.
she leaves the car, he doesn't give it to her, and then he breaks it.
Mhm.
And then she comes back and he's like, "Oh, you said you had something for me?" It's like, "Well, not anymore." He broke it. That's just God, God, Bear's an idiot. That's just something I was like, "Oh my God, dude, you're not gonna date her, bro." Doing all this, yeah. So that was funny. More funny details on that. Oh, and also, dude, that scene in the car where they start going back and forth.
Mhm.
He's like trying to ask her out. What'd you think of that scene?
Oh, I when he like fumbled his confession.
Yeah, like three times.
Yes. Oh my God. It was kind of like frustrating to watch. I was just like, Bear, just say it, please.
That was the part where I wrote my original review on the Horror Lounge, right, like my first screening. I wrote I was like Michael Johnston is so good at being like almost like unbearably cringy at times. Because that scene, I was like, dude, just say it. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I'm like, you're dragging this out so bad. And then when she literally gives it to him, she's like, "Do you like me? Yes or no? Now's the time to say it." And he still fumbles. Fool. Dude, like, man, she, the goal was open, man. You could have scored. You could have at least said it.
Exactly.
Yeah, he had every chance to own up to it and didn't. And then he got mad and then broke the one with Willow. Yeah. Which I do like. Someone pointed out, like in an interview with Curry Barker, someone asked, um, is there a way to beat the One Wish Willow? Is there a way to you know, not be harmed from it? And he was like, yeah, you just have to wish properly. He's like, he said the One Wish Willow itself isn't cursed. It's not because the monkey paw is, I believe, if I remember correctly from the original monkey paw story, it is like it'll intentionally give you bad results.
Mhm.
Like you'll wish for something and it'll give you the worst version of that. But with the One Wish Willow, Curry Barker said the One Wish Willow itself isn't cursed. It's Bear's wish was cursed. Like if you just ask for a normal wish, because there's other people in that movie that have used the One Wish Willow that are perfectly
Yeah.
content with their lives. So it's like this is all you, Bear. This is your fault. You could have just asked for $1 billion like Ian. Yeah. Anything else from that car scene that was you want to touch on?
Oh, yes. So like, after Bear made the wish, and then if I saw Nikki standing there and then like suddenly want to go home with me, immediately I would have clocked that. Immediately I would have been like, oh wait, I think this wish is like real.
Yeah. And dude, the framing of that shot after he breaks the One Wish Willow, like again, we were talking about in the spoiler-free portion, but now that we're in the spoiler portion, he breaks the One Wish Willow, and then that a wide shot of Nikki standing on her doorstep, like looking at the car, and she's like completely shadowed. Awesome fucking shot. Again,
Yeah.
shout out to the cinematographer and gaffers on that because the lighting and the cinematography throughout the whole movie is great, but that shot really stuck with me. I was like, that's a great shot. And also, even after she's like coming up to the window and talking to him, he looks in the back seat and you see the One Wish Willow sticking out of his backpack. That shot, the way it's lit,
Yeah.
Like every shot of a broken one-wished willow looks so cursed. Even like towards the end, like at the end of the movie, you see like you have that pan down as Bear's about to overdose, and you see the one-wish willow sitting there cracked on the table. Just
Yeah.
again, the framing of that, the vibrant red packaging, and it looks so eerie. And that shot in particular, where it's hanging out of his backpack in the back of the car, it's all dark.
Mhm.
It was just a cool shot.
There's something I wanted to mention. Wait. Okay, so it was when Nikki was trying to go home with Bear, and then for a moment, Nikki snaps out of it, and she's just like, "Whoa, what the fuck am I doing?" And then Bear was just like, "Yeah, I've never seen you act like this before." Like, your thoughts on that? I like that we had like moments where Nikki just snapped out of it for a second.
Oh yeah, and the scariest moment where she snaps out of it is that same night. But I also I agree that Bear should have instantly picked up on that. I know it's like hard to believe. Like I know it's like, if you're actually in that reality, would you automatically believe it? But it's weird that her personality just like flipped on a dime, and he's like, "I'm rocking with this. Okay, yeah, we could do this." It's like, dude, come on, you gotta at least feel like something's wrong.
Exactly.
But yeah, for me, like the scariest scene where she like snapped back to her true self was when they were making out.
Oh yeah.
That scared the shit out of me the first time I saw it. It was like like her reaction and just the shock and like that in itself was kind of its own jump scare.
Mhm.
It wasn't like a jump. It was like not like a traditional jump scare, but it was just like that quick shift in tone was again kind of a jump scare in itself.
I agree. And I especially liked when Bear was eating the cat lunch, and then you got the Polaroids where it's like you and then not me.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that till like my second watch. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, not me. I was like, damn, that's freaky. Oh, man. And then I'm trying to remember everything like in order to make sure I don't skip over any scenes where we're not jumping around too much because it's like there's so much to cover in this movie. It's such a good movie. Um, but yeah, after that, oh yeah. So after she goes to sleep and he like sleeps on the floor after that, you know,
Yeah.
after she freaks out while kissing him. He sleeps on the floor, then he wakes up in the middle of the night and goes on like, I mean, it's Google, but not Google. I think it's called Probe or something in the movie. Um, and he looks up if One Wish Willow's work, and there's like a whole like Reddit thread of people who are like arguing. And I I love when movies like write out like internet comments for like for the movie. Like Spree, great movie, Spree, and he's live streaming, so you get all these like comments. Apparently, the director of that movie like wrote every single comment that appears in that movie.
Dang.
I know it's like a fucking lot, and I was like, that's just cool. I think it's really funny when films get to mimic like internet people arguing. I think it's hilarious, and it's really funny in this one because it's on a Reddit thread. And there's people who are like, no, one-wish rules do not work. If you think they work, you are an idiot. And there's one comment where it's like, no, one-wish rules do work. My mother was ugly her whole life, and now she's beautiful.
Love
It's
that
just,
comment.
yeah, there's just like random shit like that, and I think it's hilarious. And there's one comment where it's like, one-wish rules are a collector's item, but if you want to buy a bootleg, I make them on my Etsy store. And just again, just dumb, silly shit like that. I really appreciate in movies. So that was a fun little moment. Bear and Nikki rolling to work the next day, all casual, and Ian is like, "Yo." They walk through it. Ian's like, "Yo, you did it," and he's like, "No, no, no." He's like, "I think something." And he acknowledges that something was off, but he still was like all about it. He was, "Oh, this will work." It's like how in every scene in the music store, in Nikki is looking at Bear.
I
Like,
thought that
during that
was
whole conversation, she's staring at them.
great.
And then one cool little detail, Ian is like, oh, I think she was on Molly. And then when she shows up that night, she's like, yeah, I was on MDMA or something. Like she gives like the scientific name for
Mhm.
Molly. And that was another thing where I was like, I don't think Nikki would say the scientific name of it.
Oh, you're right.
It's like that's so clearly like just not something she would I don't think she'd give the technical scientific term. She would say, "Oh yeah, I was on Molly last night. Sorry." I was like, okay. But no, she was like, "Yeah, I was on this," and she was only saying that because she knew Ian said that. And I mean, really, I think the whole thing about the the wish Nikki is that she was just kind of using whatever she picked up on to get closer to Bear.
Yeah.
Even in that car scene, she's like, "Do you want to come inside? My cat just died. I mean, your cat just died. I'm really sorry." That's like it's so creepy. It's like what? It's like an AI short circuiting, and how like an AI would just kind of like just say whatever to agree with you. You know,
Yeah.
felt kind of like that. It was just such a like an eerie, like non-human response, especially like in those moments. I thought it was a great touch in the script.
Maybe even with like her dad dying, and then everyone else was just like, isn't that the dad that she's not close with at all?
Yeah. But, I mean, like Ian was like, doesn't she hate her dad? And Bear's like, I guess it's sorry. She's like, oh yeah, I guess, yeah, sure, but like, okay. Which I mean, I get that could happen. Like, if you don't like your parents, you probably would. And I don't know, but I thought for a while I was like, okay, that's kind of believable. But then, as later revealed in that dinner scene, which we'll get into, that dinner scene is a whole thing to unpack in itself. That she was lying about her dad dying. But before that, she goes after work, she goes to um Bear's house, which I didn't think it was interesting how Nikki is able to somewhat act normal at first. Like she's walking towards Bear's car and Bear's like, "Oh, I can't give you a ride home tonight." And she's like, "Oh, I know, I'm just grabbing my purse." Like she was acting very normal about it. And I was like, "Okay, that's
Yeah.
it." And then she shows up at Bear's house. First off, when he's on the phone with Ian, you could see her staring in the. You could see her shadow like moving across the window.
Yeah.
So she was like outside staring at him, and then she moved towards the door, which I really creepy. Again, the lighting and the shadows on that shot are very effective, very creepy. Um, and then more on the lighting. I'm like hyping up the lighting in this movie. I mean, it's a very well lit movie. That's the film nerd in me fucking being like, yeah, the gaffing was great. Like, like when she's like on his doorstep, there's that shot where she's like completely shadowed, but like there's like two like white dots in her eyes. Again, amazingly like amazingly lit shot. All right, we took a break after that part. It was like almost 4 in the morning we were recording. We were both really tired. So that explains the different attire for the remainder of this interview. Or not interview, no, review. Duh. But yeah, where we left off, we were talking about that scene where Nikki shows up at Bear's doorstep and tells her that she loves him. And even then, she has to like pry it out of him.
Yeah, that's right.
Like even when she's there, like straight up spelling it out, he's still too scared to confess his feelings. The bear hate train is real on this show. But yeah, after that, there's the really good dinner scene. They're on a date at a restaurant, and they're talking. Bear says he wants to become a food critic, and then immediately also says he has no idea how being a food critic works.
Legit, that man has no ambition.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. Like Bear, like we're gonna keep hating on him. It's like, dude, he like has no, like you said, he has no ambition. He has no like his only focus is Nikki. He has no. like once outside of dating Nikki, which yeah, I mean that goes back to the point of like, he's the one with the obsession, And it's like everyone else at the music store has like at least some sort of goal or something they want to do or something they enjoy doing. And Bear's like, yeah, I guess I want to be a food critic. I don't know how that works though. It's like, okay, okay, sure. Um, and during that scene, he gets a call from Ian, and he learns that Nikki is lying about her dad uh, being like really sick. And Bear, in my opinion, stupidly confronts Nikki about that. I would not have brought it up.
Dude,
I,
say I'd be too scared at that point.
yeah, I'd be like, oh fuck, I don't want to. At least not in public. I wouldn't bring it up on the date. And then she has that really freaky moment where she starts like yelling in the restaurant.
I really like that scene. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I know her performance in that scene's great. But what really is like one of the most insane parts of that scene is what comes immediately after, because she's like, what does it matter if I'm lying about that? And Bear's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Then it immediately cuts to them having sex.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Dude, oh my gosh. I forgot that it transitioned like that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't care that you're like lying about this thing to get with me, and then it just cuts to them having sex. And she has the most like expressionless, like blank face as he's having sex with her. He's not even looking at her. He's just having sex. Like it's such a disturbing, like hard cut, but it works so well to show how much of a piece of shit this character is and how just fucked up this dynamic is. Yeah, just really, really good fucking editing on that scene.
Right, and that's the thing too. Like, you mentioned that Curry Barker said that like at that point Nikki could not even consent to like having her hand held or anything like that. So that was a really fucked up scene.
Yeah, yeah. I thought and someone asked me what interview I saw it in. I'll have to find them because it was a magazine I found at South by Southwest.
Oh.
And it was like an interview with Curry Barker, and I'm pretty sure it was either Curry Barker or Andy Navretti. One of them had mentioned that Nikki can't even consent to hold hands. So, exploring, consent and the loss of autonomy in the movie is very prevalent and important to the team that made it. So, I mean, and that cut just really drives that point home that he doesn't even look at her when they're having sex. It is just straight up like he just wants her, not even like
Yeah,
on
you're
an
right.
emotional level. It's just like he wants her because he has this like idealized, romanticized version of her in his head. I think that point really like drove that home. So it's a great cut. It's great use of the editing. And then what what follows immediately is, in my opinion, the scariest scene in the movie. It's that bedroom scene.
Oh yeah, where she's in the corner.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. I'm sure I said it at the spoiler-free part of the review, but that scene, now we can go into detail about it. That scene, when I first saw it, I was like, this is gonna be a fucking horrifying film. Because that
Did,
whole sequence felt like a nightmare.
did you see her in the corner at first? I did not. The first watch.
After a minute, I was like, shit. There she is. She started kind of like, I was like, oh, it's so, again, the lighting, it's so fucking freaky. And then she has that look on her face as she's like out of the shadows where she's crying, and seeing the behind the scenes of that moment. They did like uncanny valley makeup on her. It's just so
Oh,
fucking frightening.
it was a nice touch too. When my sister was watching it, she was like, "Did her face change?" And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, dude, it's just the facial expressions, the line delivery when she's like her cry, like, her cries alone are pretty haunting, but her line delivery while she's crying, saying like, "I feel like you don't love me as much as I do." It's like, oh my God, bro, that's so fucking freaky. That's that freaky Nikki shit. And it's like, it's true, he doesn't love you as much as you love him because it's like your love is immeasurable. It's more than anyone in the world, like the witch says. And I would doubt he even loves her on a human level. Again, it's just kind of a fantasy to him. So,
Right.
in a way, valid crash out. But yeah. Freakiest scene in the movie, in my opinion, that whole bedroom scene. And then she like uh backs away into the corner and he tries to go back to sleep. I wouldn't have done that. Like, dude, how how are you just gonna lay your head back down and turn around from that?
For real, that was funny.
It was it's like, dude, oh my God. And then she comes back with like the flower pot in front of her face.
Dude, that was like frightening. I was so scared that she was just gonna jump at him or something.
Was I saw a theory that people maybe thought that that was like the real Nikki and like the wish Nikki like wrestling for control. Like someone's like, what if she was gonna like bash his head in with the flower pot and like the wish Nikki is like holding her back from doing that and just like holding it onto her hands. I was like, oh, that's again not more of a theory, but I thought that was a neat little idea. A lot of people were saying, but nonetheless, really fucked up, freaky scene.
Tim, I really like when she snaps back into place and she was like, for Sandy. She just sets it back down.
R.I.P. your cat, whose body I dug out of the trash can. God. So fucking cool. So freaky. I don't know what else what happens after that scene. I think it gets back to the oh yeah, before he goes to work, he's talking to her on the couch and he's like, "Yeah, can you not do that freaky ass thing you did last night like ever again?"
Oh yeah, did you notice that she was reading the book upside down?
Yes, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, I thought that was such a cool little detail. How it's like it's all just a performance. Like she's not actually doing anything. She's just kind of like waiting for Bear to like come up and talk to her. And everything in between is just kind of like pretend, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was a cool little detail. Um, and then he tries to leave and the door is like duct taped shut. Like, holy crap. That's just like that reveal is so cool. He's like trying to like pull the door open with the duct tape. And Nikki's just like, if you're having trouble with the door, you should just stay home. And he's like, no, no, I got it. Oh, I did hear, and I have no idea if this is a true story or not. Um, if we ever, God willing, if we ever do get Curry Barker on the show, I'd love to ask him. But someone said, I think it was on TikTok, so take it with a grain of salt. But I saw someone said that the when he realized that Nikki cut some of his hair.
Mhm.
Someone said that that wasn't originally in the script and that the actor got a haircut without really warning anybody and they had to kind of like improvise something.
I see.
So like to hide any continuity errors, they're like, oh, let's just put that in. No idea if that's true because that fits right into this movie, like her cutting off some of his hair. So it works. I have no idea if that's actually a true story or if that was in the script all along. I do know the script is available to read online. I've been meaning to read it, so I'll have to find a copy of it and flip through that. But yeah, I thought that was if that is a true story, then that's really funny.
Dude, that scene reminded me of the Midnight Barber.
What's that?
Oh, you know
Oh,
that?
yes, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They call me the Midnight Barber.
As cut people's hair when they're asleep. It's funny as fuck. Um, yeah, he gets to the store and he's on his lunch break with Sarah, and Sarah's like, "It's weird that you and Nikki are all of a sudden a couple." And Bear's like, "Mind your own business, bro."
Real.
It's like, dude, she wants you. What is your fucking problem? Bear is such a dumbass, bro. On top of being a horrible person and the true villain of this movie, he's also just in general very stupid at times. But well, one thing I do really like about that scene before the cat sandwich reveal is Sarah, and I noticed this on like I didn't notice this like my third watch. Um
Yeah.
Sarah almost tells Bear about Ian and Nikki hooking up because Bear is like, "Oh, Ian told me what you said, what you and Nikki said, how you she said she only sees me as like a brother or something." And Sarah's like, "Okay, well, if Ian's gonna be, spreading shit around, then you should know that Ian." And then her dad interrupts her, and I think that was gonna be the moment where she says, Ian and Nikki have been hooking up on and off.
Oh, right. I
Um,
caught that too.
yeah, no, super super cool little detail that took me a while to catch, but I thought it was neat. Do you have any thoughts on the cat sandwich scene?
Dude, I liked how like he noticed that it was his cat. He started throwing up and he was like, "Oh, it's an inside joke."
Yeah, it's an inside joke. Well, first it's those damn Polaroids.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's like in the you and the not me. So fucking creepy.
And it's like it's the fact that he kept making up excuses for their relationship to work so that they wouldn't like, question it even more.
Yeah, dude, he's just a scumbag, bro. Like, what an asshole.
No, for real.
And then he also, how'd you not taste that on your first bite on the sandwich? I don't know what cat meat tastes like, but I assume it tastes different from like what you usually put on sandwiches.
For real. And it's probably been rotting for like a few days.
Yeah, Jesus. But the reveal is cool. The My Little Food Critic note. It's like, what's the verdict on cat? Yeah. Why did Nikki do that, bro?
Oh, some people said that it's like the real Nikki trying to get back at Bear.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
I
good
think I've
theory.
heard that. Yeah, I think that works. Um, Either way, it's fucked up scene. I love it. It's funny because like before they reveal that he's eating a cat sandwich, uh, Sarah and Bear do kind of have an almost coupley kind of moment, which does a really good job setting up the car scene because they like lay each other's heads on their shoulders when they're like talking about like the rejection letter. It also shows like how naturally they have like a chemistry. So it's like, dude, Bear, like if you just let things take their course naturally, you could have just been with Sarah and had like a normal, healthy relationship.
Exactly. And Eden was telling him, hey, you only have time.
Yeah, or just try dating Sarah. I don't know. If I again, Ian, one of the worst best friends in a horror movie. Like you knew what Nikki thought about Bear. You were having sex with Nikki on and off for years. It's like if I was Ian, I would have just told Bear like, "Hey, Sarah likes you. Maybe see where that goes. That seems more natural." Because every scene they have together that feels romantic, it feels romantic very naturally.
Yeah.
Whereas Bear literally has to wish for Nikki to love him, and then all of Nikki's scenes are feel very like a forced love, like a very smothering, forced feeling. Versus again, Sarah, all those scenes come very natural with their chemistry. So yeah, Bear's a dumbass. Um, yeah, after that, uh, he and Ian drive home. And Ian, I will say, as much as I'm hating on Ian, he really does kind of clock Bear here. He's, oh, I heard you're having a party tonight. Why weren't we invited? He's like, well, it looks like Nikki's going through something, and it kind of looks like you're taking advantage of the situation.
Real.
Yeah, I say this as your friend. It looks weird, and people are gonna have questions about that. And I was like, you know what? First real friend thing Ian has done this whole movie was being, hey man, this looks really bad on you as a character. This like reflects poorly on you, and people are talking about it. You should not go to this. First genuine piece of like friendly advice has given.
And I like that he pointed out like codependency and stuff in relationships.
Yeah, yeah, he perfectly clocked Bear on that. And and then Ian was like, "Okay, I'll make it a boys' night. I'll tell Sarah she can't come. That shouldn't be a problem." Fucking liar. Well, you didn't tell Sarah shit. Because Sarah was at. There were a lot of other women at that party. I was like, "Dude,
There
Ian,
were.
what kind of bullshit are you pulling here, man?" Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about after he leaves to go to work that uh shot that we're stuck on where she's just sitting there smiling in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, but like it was really messed up because like the entity was just like, staying there and to the point of like, seems like throwing up and defecating and like pissing.
Yeah, like she has like no control over her body.
Hmm.
Yeah. Really, really fucked up freaky scene. And then when he comes, oh, but before he walks in, after he drops Ian off and goes back to his place, he calls the damn One Wish Willow customer service number, which I think we already talked about it. But again, that's such a great scene because it's comedic, and then he patches him through to hear Nikki screaming. Just genuinely, really, really well done balance between like the comedic kind of like moments of levity and then back to like horrifically scary shit.
Right, and he still didn't feel bad. That's crazy.
Yeah, he like walked in like nothing happened.
Hmm.
And then went to a fucking party. Like, dude, the hell? Yeah. And he sees that Nikki is like covered in her own bodily fluids. And she's like, oh, I'll go shower. And then he's like, why did you cook my cat?
Nikki, you can't cook the cat.
Yeah, it's like the gentle parenting is crazy. Gentle parenting your hypnotized girlfriend is crazy. It's evil. Oh, and the sound design in this scene is so good because he's like, "Oh, it's a boys' night, so I think I'm just gonna go alone." And you just hear like the water turn off. It's like a loud like bang as she turns the
Right?
water off. Fucking awesome sound design on that scene. And she's like, "Oh, it's cool. I heard that Sarah's gonna be like Sarah told me she was gonna be there." It's like, but why is Sarah texting Nikki about this?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, D did she actually text her?
Or it was just like Ian just didn't do what he said he was gonna do. Like, God, asshole. But yeah, they go to the party. And the party seems great because they're playing this like Jenga thing where it's like you have to either do something or drink. And someone switches spots with Bear, so Bear doesn't sit with Nikki and she's all pissy about it. And that scene has like that really haunting Hansel and Gretel monologue. It's where it's like an incestuous Hansel and Gretel story, which I literally found out like today
Mhm.
that that monologue was written by Curry Barker's dad.
Really?
Yeah. So, Curry, is your dad okay? That's like really fucked up. That's like really freaky. Is everything okay at home? No, it's funny because Curry Barker's dad posts a lot about the movie and like just talks about it because I think he also works in film or has like experience in film or something. And like so I follow him on Instagram and he's always posting cool like behind the scenes stuff about the movie. So follow Curry Barker's dad on Instagram. You'll learn a lot of funny on set stories about it.
Oh, I also liked in the poem that the willow tree was referenced.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good line. Only that I love that only the branch of a willow tree can conjure. I'm like, dude, that's so freaky.
Yes.
That's also my running theory on what the One Wish Willow is. I have a theory that in that universe, they've discovered a forest full of like willow trees that can grant wishes, and they've gone like full Lorax style and chopped all of them down and made these fucking toys. And that's why they're kind of rare, like collectible items, because it's like on top of being magic, they're also from like an endangered plant. That's my theory, at least.
Ooh, that's a good theory though.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was like, if they ever, because Curry Barker said he wants to do like a One Wish Willow anthology series, which
Hmm.
I think would be great. And I definitely, I may or may not have put out a tweet, soft begging Curry Barker to let me write on that series because I think that'd be really fun. But anyway, but no, but yeah, I think it's a really cool idea to it if they ever want to expand on that. Because I usually like when movies kind of just keep things as is. I think when you expand on something too much, it kind of loses its mystique. And I think in the case of Obsession, that's such a perfectly crafted, original, standalone premise that part of me is like, if we don't get the One Wish Willow series, I'm fine with it. But if we do, I think there's some potential there. So, and yeah, maybe my theory will be proven right that there's uh, a whole forest of willow trees that have been just cut down Lorax style to make the One Wish Willow toy.
That'd be nice to see how it came to be. And like I also do want to see like what other people have wished for.
Yeah, man. Because again, it's like I think Curry Barker said, it's like the One Wish Willow isn't cursed. It's just that Bear's wish was selfish and cursed.
Yeah.
Like you could ask for something normal and it'll work.
What would you wish for?
What would I wish for?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, honestly. I feel like the safest bet would be money. But I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like if I found a way to word it properly, uh, hmm, let me think about that. What would you wish for?
I was thinking like to succeed at everything, but like I could just like do something simple, right? And then everyone would applaud. Like that would get boring.
Imagine you just like go take out the trash and everyone's like, "Let's go!"
Exactly. Most
The goat,
successful woman.
the goat has done it again. The goat has done it again. Man, if I think I would if I could word it properly, I'd probably wish for like movie deals to like get scripts produced
Ooh,
and have like more access to like make movies and shit. Just kind of
that'd be
like just
cool.
yeah. Yeah, if I could word it properly. But I also think money's probably the safest bet. As long as you know how to like avoid the tax repercussions on it, I feel like you can get away with it. Like even like Ian's like $1 billion thing. I'm like, I feel like if he found a way to like hide it and not spend it all too much, you could probably get away with it. But yeah, at the party, uh, they're playing that drinking game, and Nikki recites that insanely disturbing Hansel and Gretel story, which someone also pointed out how that ties in with like how she said that she sees Bear as like a brother, and then she's reciting
Oh,
this incest story about Hansel and Gretel having sex. Now it's
that's
like
a good
she,
detail.
yeah, she feels like she's having sex with her brother when she has sex with Bear. So fucking disturbing. I love it. Also, in this game, someone pointed out, I didn't even clock this. Bear didn't have to read what was on that block. He could have just drank.
Wait, you're right.
But instead he was like, oh, kiss the person to your left and then put Sarah in danger.
He wanted to be messy. What the hell?
Yeah, it's like, bro, you don't have to say it out loud. Nikki didn't read hers out loud. She just read it in her head and then recited that monologue. And then afterwards, she was like, "Oh, I think I think it was something like, oh, like read something from your notes app or drink. Couldn't have picked something from else from your notes app.
I'd
No.
been like, Nikki, please just drink.
Yeah, I feel like just have alcohol, dude. Um, but yeah, and then Indy Nifredi's amazing frown, the way she makes that expression is so fucking good.
I liked how emoji it looked.
Yeah, it looks so unnatural. It was so freaky. Oh, dude, please, I need Indy Nifredi to like blow up and film because she is so good at these very disturbing expressions. But yeah, and then she tweaks out about Sarah being next to Bear and like drags the chair back. I thought she was gonna do worse. I thought she was gonna kill Sarah right there.
Same, I was scared for Sarah.
Me too. It's a really good way to build tensity, that scene. So I'm watching Abaddon behind you. I love him. He's hilarious.
Me too.
But anyway, um, after that, Nikki, the real Nikki comes back out and she immediately tries to kill herself.
Oh yeah.
Which I love how every scene after, like every time the real Nikki shows up after this, she like just tries to kill herself. Like she's done trying to like plead or like beg Bear for mercy. She just like wants to die.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really
really,
sad.
really fucked up. But I feel like she probably could have. I know she only has a few seconds of consciousness. But I feel like she probably could have picked a more effective way to do it. I feel like if she went for the neck, she probably would have had a better chance of instead of going for the eye.
I agree. And like, well, maybe the entity was like also battling her where she could like, hurt
Yeah.
herself. But like, I do have a question like after that scene because you see Barry driving to the emergency room. Uh, how come they turned her away?
Yeah, someone brought this up. I think it's implied, and maybe this is like a deleted scene or
Mhm.
something, but I think it's implied that he tries to like get her like to stay there to be monitored overnight, but they can't take her unless she consents to it.
Oh,
And so
huh.
she's probably like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. So she's like, okay, I'll just stay with Bear. And Bear's like, please take her. And they're like, we can't unless, because she's a grown woman, Bear. It's like, like, we can't take her into our care unless she consents to it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard at least. So maybe once the Blu-ray comes out, we'll get like deleted scenes and they'll be expanded upon. But that's kind of the running theory, at least. But also the face Nikki makes after stabbing herself with the bottle and like the wish Nikki kind of comes back. She's like smiling, like trying to laugh it off. So fucked up. And then I think like the saddest scene in the movie is when they get back from the party and they're like arguing.
Yeah,
And he tells her to just be Nikki and she says that she can't. That's just fucked up, man.
it was sad. And she was just like, I can be like whatever you want me to be.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, just really, again, really great moment between Michael Johnston and Indy Nivretti. Like both of them, both their acting in that scene is fantastic.
I agree.
And she also did that thing where she like gave that another really freaky monologue about how she feels when she's laying down without him.
Oh yeah,
And she says it's not darkness. Darkness is a color. It's just nothing. It's like, dude, holy shit.
that was deep as hell.
Yeah. And then she like randomly charges at him and then like comes like walks back. Yeah, I think that's like the real Nikki versus the Wish Nikki, like the real Nikki like charging at him and like the Wish Nikki like holding her back.
Oh yeah.
Just so freaky. God, it seems awesome. Like she charges at him, he screams, and she's like, "Don't be scared. It's okay. Don't be scared." It's like, bro, Jesus. Oh my God. And then the the biggest mistake Sarah makes in this movie. Fucking texting Bear at 2:30 in the morning after that party.
I know, and then threatening to come over, that's crazy.
It's like, meet me or I'm coming over to your place. It's like, bro, do you want to die? You saw how like even like outsider looking in, you see how like unpredictable Nikki is acting.
Exactly.
And you're like, you know what? Let me go over to her boyfriend's house while she's there to try to flirt with him.
Right. Oh yeah, and like the detail where Nikki did hurt herself at the party and then Bear was just like desensitized to it already. He was just staring off.
Yeah. I like how Ian's like, get up, asshole.
Exactly. And she still wanted to come over to that place. It's crazy.
I like how when she texts, you can see text from earlier in the night, and she
Hmm.
says, she says like, "Are you okay?"
Oh,
And it's like, is he okay, bro? Nikki's the one with the fucking hole in her head.
legit.
It's like, oh, are you okay? It's like we talked it out. It's like, what do you mean we talked it out, bro? God, I hate Bear, and Sarah is just so. Sarah makes some pretty dumb. I like Sarah, but she makes some pretty dumb decisions in this movie. The dumbest of which being what she does in this scene, which is again, like you see this woman is not all there mentally, and you're like, let me text her boyfriend for a booty call at 3 in the morning. Surely this will end well for me. Surely things will go right for me here. And also on Bear for fucking going.
Great.
Like you're putting Sarah in danger now by even being around her. Fucking idiot, dude. But before he goes, we get that insanely disturbing scene where Nikki's asleep and she tells Bear to kill her. Like the real Nikki is able to like talk while she's sleeping.
Yeah, that was so sad.
And dude gives the worst response ever to her asking him to kill her. He's like, well, what's wrong with being with me?
Dude, that made me so mad the first watch. I was like, are you serious, bro?
It's like, what? That's like, oh my God, dude. Any shred of sympathy you have for Bear needs to have been burnt by that scene.
Exactly.
Because it's like, dude, she's begging to be killed, and you're like, what's wrong with being with me? It's like, dude, you took away her autonomy, had sex with her, and you're not budging on this. Like, what? You're a horrible person.
Exactly. Like, woe is me. It's crazy.
Yeah. What's wrong with being with me? Everything. You're horrible. You are a bad person. Like, God, what an asshole. Oh my God. Again, we're on the Bear hate train here, and Michael Johnson does a very good job playing him. I love Michael Johnson. He's an amazing actor. It's just that Bear is such a terrible person, but it's great because Michael Johnson's so good at making Bear this sinister. But yeah, then Bear ignores her as she's begging to be killed after asking that stupid fucking question. He like just walks off and goes to hang out with Sarah.
What an asshole. Oh my God.
And then they're chilling, and Sarah's like, "It really sucks. Nikki's taking advantage of you." It's like, oh yeah, poor Bear. Like, I get the thing on like codependency in relationships, and I guess outsider looking in without the context, sure. But it's just like that line, I was like, dude, if only you fucking knew how bad this was.
Exactly. And it's crazy. And Ian thought the opposite.
Yeah, not exactly. Oh my God, this again, this friend group is so messy. Like, you don't need like friend group counseling to just be open with each other about all this. Man, yeah, they're in the car, and They're like, oh, this is my last acceptance letter, and they're talking. And this is what it's like, dude, Sarah, fucking drop it. Dude, like, why are you pursuing this? Like, I can understand being like, oh, we should open my acceptance letter together. It's like, okay, I guess. Weird time to do it at 3 a.m., but
Mhm.
sure, I can understand the sentiment. But then being like, yeah, you should be with someone more chill. And he's like, oh, like you? And she's like, well, I was on your left. It's like, dude, knock it off. At the end of the day, Nikki is still your friend. Like you're still, even though she's being really unstable from your point of view, Nikki's still your friend, and you're over here like openly like trying to steal her boyfriend.
Right.
So yeah, Sarah. I like how all the characters in this movie are pretty questionable people when it comes to their choices. I mean, it's that realistic friend group. Nobody's perfect, but some people are worse than others at certain things. Yeah, but every single time I watch this scene. Every single time, I'm still not prepared for that jump scare.
Same, dude.
Like, even when I know it's happening, I'm like, dude, what? Come on. I'm like, when is it? And then she jumps through the window and starts attacking Sarah. And she does that shit so quick. She busts through and then puts the brick on the steering wheel and then just goes ape shit.
That show is violent.
It is. And you know what's crazy? The version we've seen is the cut down version.
Really?
Yeah, but like, because apparently, and this is why I'm so mad I didn't see this movie at Fantastic Fest. I'm so mad. Apparently, the Fantastic Fest version had six or seven more uh bashes in it.
Damn.
And then when it got acquired, I think when it got acquired by Blumhouse, he had to trim it down to avoid getting an NC-17 rating.
Wow.
Because apparently those extra bashes were so violent that it would have made the movie NC-17. So to keep it at an R rating, they had to trim it down. So if you saw this at Fantastic Fest, you're one of the only people as of right now to have seen the fully unrated cut of Obsession. Even like the stuff with like even at South by Southwest, the version I saw at South by Southwest was what's playing in theaters right now, which is the cut down scene. Because remember, and this was a quote that got put on all the horror websites. I think Dread Central made a post about it the night of the screening I was at. But at the screening I was at, Curry Barker came out and was like, yeah, the death scene there was cut down. We had to trim it down. So what you're seeing here is the cut version. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. But yeah, whenever it comes to Blu-ray, I need that director's cut with all the bashes put back in.
Same. I want to see it.
Yeah, me too. It's like that's such a gruesome death, and it happens so fucking fast. And when you see Sarah's body afterwards, there's like her whole face taken apart.
You can see her eyeball. Oh my gosh.
It's so good. It's like, dude, it's so fucking awesome. So Sarah, what did we learn about flirting with other people's boyfriends?
Wait, I'm thinking about it now. Like, Nikki, before she turned into that entity, like, she knew that Sarah had a crush on Bear. It is a bit messy
Yeah.
from an outsider's point of view.
Yeah, because it's like if you don't know the context and you don't know that Bear is a terrible person, I understand the comments saying how it looks like Nikki's the one like leaning on him too much. But then to in that same conversation be like, oh, you should be with someone like me. It's like, okay, bro. Well, now you're dead. So I also got after it happens, Nikki is just like, Bear, this is your fault because you wished for this.
I love that part.
Oh, she doesn't give a fuck, dude. Well, I'll calm her. She's like, it's okay. You need to help me hide the body, but it's okay. We got this.
And then this motherfucker still did it.
Yeah, and what's fucked up, they hide the body in what looks like one of the music cases from the
Mhm.
store. Dude, imagine Sarah's dad comes into the store and finds the body in like one of those music cases.
Hmm.
Oh, but I mean, he won't because the body gets brought back to Bear's house.
Right, that would have been sad though.
Yeah. Because I thought as that was happening, I was like, oh man, Andy Richter's gonna get blamed for the death of his daughter. I'm like, oh man, because it's in his store and it's his daughter, and it's like, okay, that lines up. But yeah, Nikki brings the body back to Bear's house, which also I like that how they're at the music store because that explains how Nikki got the gun she has in the third act. Because it's mentioned way earlier in the movie that Sarah's dad has a gun in his office.
It's a good observation.
Yeah, yeah, it's like what's that screenwriting thing? It's like Chekhov's gun. It's like if a gun is mentioned in a screenplay, it has to go off by the end of the screenplay.
Oh yeah.
Like if you yeah, that's like a screenwriting like not rule, but like it's like a thing in screenwriting. It's like if you make a point to mention a gun at some point in the movie, at some point down the line, that gun has to go off.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that can be applied to a lot of different things in screenwriting. But I thought that was a neat little
Wow.
classic screenwriting choice to be like, oh yeah, he has a gun, and it's like it's such a throwaway like one-off conversation at the before any of the crazy shit happens. They're just at the bar talking, and Ian's like, "Oh, I heard that Sarah's dad has a gun in his office. That's crazy, huh?" And like, "Oh yeah, weird." And it's like a total like throwaway one-off line, and then that gun causes some problems down the line, like way towards like the third act of the movie. Um, but yeah, after Bear drops Nikki off at the music store to like chop up the body, I assume that's what she's doing because she's covered in blood when she walks out from that room,
Right.
and she's like, "Oh, you can go home. I'll handle the rest." He he reads Sarah's acceptance letter, and it's an acceptance letter, and it's like, dude, if you just again, it's like if you just let things take their course, Bear. If you just let things naturally progress. You could have been dating Sarah as she was going to art school. That would have been
That's
super cute. That would have been a fine, normal relationship. But you had to use the One Wish Willow to get the girl that you were obsessed with instead of the girl that you had natural chemistry with. Because Bear's a fucking idiot. And we hate him here.
we do.
But yeah, after that moment, he goes back to the store that sells the One Wish Willows. And it's such a funny scene because he comes in, he's like, "Where's the One Wish Willows?" And the store clerk was like, "What's a One Wish Willow?" And he like starts freaking out. And the store clerk's like, "Hey man, I'm fucking with you. They're right over there." And I remember what was it? I remember Curry Barker had mentioned that scene because he's like he says if I remember correctly, he said something like it's it's sort of a cliche in these types of stories where like the magic or cursed object when you go back to the store is gone or the store never existed. That's kind of like a cliche in these types of stories, and he wanted to kind of go against that. So he was like, "Oh yeah, the Wonder Woman are still there. They're still for sale. It's just a thing." So it's like, yeah, it's like they're there, but you can't do anything about it because you only get one wish. And this damn store clerk, bro, he's so nonchalant.
I love it. You can't come in here with that energy, man.
Which not to side with Bear, not to side with him, but I would be pretty pissed off if I came in covered in blood, witnessing the death of one of my friends, and this fucking 40-year-old hippie is like, "Hey man, you gotta chill with that attitude, dude. Shut the fuck up." I'd be livid. I'd be tweaking. I'm covered in blood, and he's like, "Hey man, just this energy, it doesn't work for me." It's like, dude, I have my best friend's brains on me.
Shit.
Sell me the fucking one wish willow. I wonder what he wished for because he said he already used his wish. What do you think the store clerk wished for?
What do you call it? For personal tranquility.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, he wished to be nonchalant about everything. He doesn't give a shit about anything, bro. Like Barrett comes in covered in blood. And he's like, "Yeah, man, it's not so bad." It's- what do you mean it's not so bad? It's great. Yeah, I thought that was a really funny scene. Anyway, he buys the last two One Wish Willows, the last like two or three One Wish Willows at the store. They should put a cap on these because they're such collector's items. Like, you know, when you go to Target, they have a cap on the Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
They should put a cap on One Wish Willows. Keep all the scalpers away. Do you think there's One Wish Willow scalpers in this cinematic universe?
Dude, maybe in like the black market, probably.
Yeah. There's people like selling them on eBay for like 10 times the price at the store.
For real.
Oh, that's another thing I love when they started selling the real One Wish Willows. Oh, I love I do love how the price on the Focus Features shop is the same price as it is in the movie. Because I think most other companies would upcharge for a replica of such an item. But no, it's accurate to the movie. I believe in the movie it's like $6 or $7, and on the Focus Features website it's I think $7 plus tax. So
Nice.
all right plus shipping. So thank you Focus Features for not being greedy assholes about it. It's like they're like, yeah, it's $7 in the movie, $7 here. I like it. Actually, and have they started selling more? Because I know they keep selling out. Oh, they're still sold out. I just checked the website.
Oh shit. I also thought it was cool that some theaters had those like vending machines and like a claw machine.
Yes.
That was cool.
Why doesn't my theater have one? Yeah. Can y'all restock on the One Wish Willows? They're so fun. Dude, someone on eBay, yeah, speaking of scalpers, this shit would happen in the actual Obsession universe. Someone on eBay is selling One Wish Willows for $70.
Jeez.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah. But then you see on Etsy, there's people making them. So I made a One Wish Willow keychain. That's cool.
It's cool.
I like all the Obsession merch people are making.
We're talking about that. I got a One Wish Willow popcorn bucket.
Yes, that's from the Texas
Yes.
Theater. I didn't know they had those at the Texas Theater until you got one. I was like, damn, those are cool. Actually, I'd changed my wish. I would wish for all movie theater snacks to be free for me.
Ooh, that's a good wish.
Thank you. The amount of times I drop money on like an AMC popcorn is is horrible. But yeah, so Sarah's dead. Bear's like trying to get another One Wish Willow. He does. He brings him to Ian. He tells Ian, he's like, "Hey man, can you make this wish for me?" And this is again why, in my opinion, Ian is one of the worst friends in a horror movie. Because your homie, your day one best friend, comes to you covered in blood, pleading with his life for you to just make this wish to help him. And he's like, I wish for $1 billion. Dude. Nikki wouldn't have even gotten the chance to kill Ian if it was me, bro. I would have killed him right there.
That's real.
Because what do you, fuck you. You wish for $1 billion. That's what's raining money. I love that scene where Bear's just looking at him as the money's coming down. He's like, he's just so mad. He's just off. He's so pissed off, and I love it. It's hilarious. I mean, it's still fuck Bear, but I'm saying from the perspective of your day one homie comes to you begging with his life and you still pull that shit. Yeah, you're an asshole. But also, Bear didn't do himself any favors by being like, then you could be with Nikki. I wouldn't have brought that up because that made Ian even more annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you kind of did that to yourself, Bear. Like most problems in this movie, you did that to yourself. So then Bear goes home and Nikki's waiting for him. She's like hiding in the corner. And there's like a little shrine made for him. It's a really creepy set design. And he turns the corner into his kitchen. He sees Sarah's dead body,
Hmm.
like just filleted and spread out. And I loved first off, that imagery alone. I was like, maybe Curry Barker's got the sauce for Chainsaw Massacre, like visually.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing in Obsession that really, up until this point, that really screams Chainsaw Massacre to me. But that shot of Sarah's body laid out, all chopped up, I'm like, okay, it's kind of Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I fuck with it. But I love the detail. I didn't even catch this detail. Like, I really put it together until like my second watch. Nikki is dressed like Sarah, like wearing her dress and smoking her cigarettes.
Yes.
And the reason she undressed her, besides to get her take off her dress, is to like copy her tattoos that she has on her body. So she like with like Sharpie tries to like draw on all these tattoos.
She did.
And
And
then
like she also scalped her.
that's right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus. And like he turns around and Nikki is like, do you love me yet? Is this what you want me to look like? Oh my God, bro.
Ew, that's so fucking sad, dude.
It is. And even it gets to the point where like Wish Nikki is so dead set on now trying to look like Sarah to get the goal of like Bear loving her that she's like, oh, Sarah has a fucked up head injury, so then she bashes her head in with a brick.
Didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so it's like really trying to like complete that Sarah look and like have her like fuck up her face like Sarah.
Wow.
It's such a freaky scene. And the whole time they're having that argument, you hear Ian outside like, bro, Bear, I got like $1 billion, dude. This is crazy. Like Bear's witnessing one of the most like disturbing things ever, and his dumbass friend is like, "Yo, dude, I got $1 billion, bro. What should I do with it?" He's like Mr. Beast out there.
Did you see that meme that people keep posting with Patrick with his like face blown out?
It's like, hey man, I got $1 billion. Dude, have you seen that one Instagram reel that Cooper made? Where it's like
No.
the actor pulls up in a Lamborghini and someone's like, "Yo, man, what do you do for a living?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a billionaire." He's like, "Oh, do you like sell a company?" He's like, "No, I just became a billionaire like today." So yeah, I made a one. It's like the actor's like, "Yeah, I made a wish. I just became a billionaire. So I bought this Lamborghini. I'm on my way to my friend Bear's house to show him." And everyone in the comments is like, "No, don't go to Bear's house." So good. It's such a fun comedy skit that Cooper did. But yeah, he comes in after Nikki's yelling at Bear, and Nikki just turns around and shoots him in the head. That's like, I know, R.I.P. Ian. And I remember someone said, "Oh, I hope at the end of the movie, like I hope after the movie ended, Nikki took some of Ian's money to like get a lawyer, or maybe like just run away and like skip town." Get a new
Hmm.
identity. And then I didn't even clock this either. Someone pointed out and said she wouldn't be able to because since Ian died, the $1 billion disappeared.
Shit.
Because I guess when you die, the wish goes away.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so it's like, damn, you can't even take his money. Dude was a billionaire for like an hour and then got shot in the face.
For real.
Dumbass. Should have just left it alone, Ian. But yeah, R.I.P. Ian. Again, I know I'm dogging on him, but he's a really fun character. So I was like, okay, that's that's great. R.I.P. Ian. Yeah, and after that, uh, Bear hides in the bathroom from Nikki. Or no, for first they have kind of like a little moment on the couch where Bear's trying to like calm her down, and Nikki's still kind of like tweaking.
For real. Dude, the pure exhaustion in his tone, so real.
Yeah, he's like just like when she says that we're gonna be together forever, she looks up, she's like, "Why'd you shake your head?" It's like I don't even think he did shake his head. He like moved it a little bit.
That scared the fuck out of me, dude.
Holy shit. And then he runs to the bathroom and hides from her, and she's like pounding on the door, freaking out. And he's like, "Give me a minute." She's like, "Okay." Again, Andy Navretti's line deliveries in this movie are so fucking good. Give me a minute. Okay, thank you. So good. And then and Bear trying to figure out how to commit suicide.
For real. I was like, dude, don't be a pussy, just do it.
Yeah. Well, I do kind of understand his hesitancy because like imagine you like fuck it up and then you're just like brain dead but alive and Nikki's like still there.
Oh,
So I was like kind of understand his hesitancy. Yeah, again, it's like he doesn't say a word in this scene, but him trying to figure out where to point the gun. Amazing, amazing acting from Michael Johnston in that scene. And then we finally get the ultimate foreshadowing, the drugs that Sandy, the cat, OD'd on. He's like, I'm gonna just take these. But but even then, he almost tries to like vomit it up to like even then he's like too scared to kill himself and make this nightmare end. So I was like, God, dude. I was one thing that kind of confused me for a while was why Nikki was saying like, oh hey, we should break up. Like it's okay. We could, just be friends. Like do you think she was saying that just to like try to get him to come out?
yeah, I was thinking it was just like a lure tactic.
That's what I thought too. And then she breaks the one wish willow.
Oh, yeah. I did not
Yeah.
catch that until you pointed it out.
Yeah, she uses the one wish willow to wish. And what I believe, I assume her wish was for Bear to love her as much as she loves him. Also, what do you think that would have looked like if he hadn't died?
If he hadn't died, I imagine they would live like perhaps happily ever after.
In a fucked up way, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think they'd be able to live for long because I don't think they would do anything besides be together. They wouldn't go to work or take care of themselves.
right, you're right.
So I feel like that probably would have ended terribly in its own way, but I guess at least for a while, it probably would have been okay.
Okay.
But it is interesting to think that if Nikki hadn't made the wish on the One Wish Willow, then she still would have been stuck like that
Mhm.
because her making that wish stopped Bear from vomiting up the drugs. So if she had not broken up, he would have vomited it out and survived, and she still would have been stuck like that. So in a way, her making that wish saved her life. Well, I mean, saved her life, but brought her back to reality. Even though it's probably still she's probably still stuck with some pretty terrible consequences.
Bro, that's what I worried about too. I was just like, because it's gonna look like she killed like three people.
Oh, that is something interesting to talk about is that um, for anyone hoping that Nikki gets some justice after the movie, I don't think she will. Because Curry Barker said that in his next movie, there's like a headline or like a news thing that talks about a woman on trial for committing three murders. So it's very much implied that that's supposed to be Nikki, who's likely going to prison for the death of Ian, Sarah, and I guess Bear, even though Bear's was technically a suicide, but yeah. So yeah, even when she is back to herself, she is still stuck with the repercussions of Bear's bullshit.
He legit ruined all of their lives.
He did. Dude, he ruined every single one of his friends' lives because he was too afraid to admit he had a crush on a girl.
For real. He's selfish. He loved selfishly.
Yeah, loser, bro. Oh my God, just say it. This dude's friend group is fucking destroyed because he had a crush on someone. Dumbass, bro. Oh my God. Yeah, Bear overdoses on drugs and dies, and Nikki almost kills herself because of it, but then she comes back just before she blows her brains out. And apparently, they had shot an alternate ending where Nikki actually does kill herself at the end. Um, and then they changed it to she survives, but is kind of stuck with the consequences, which I think is a much more effective and bleak ending. Now, what do you think about the ending?
No, I agree. I think like just the pan to like her crying and stuff. I think that was a good ending.
Yeah, me too. I love that shot where like, the camera like pans like down and then like is upside down and facing the TV, and that's when the credits roll while the song
It was
plays.
good. I
It's
liked
great.
it.
Also, I like when she realizes that she's back and she sees Bear's dead body on her lap. She just kind of pushes him off.
Yeah,
So then fuck this guy.
for real.
Also, I love how the one of the first shots that was ever used to market this movie is that shot of Bear as he's like overdosing, where he's just like up against the bathroom wall and he's just like waiting for the drugs to kick in. That shot is like one of the first images they ever used to like show this movie. And it's
That's pretty
like,
cool.
yeah, and it's like you see that shot a lot in the marketing. It's like, dude, once you know the context of this scene, it's fucking insane. But yeah, they're I do like the shot where Bear is like in love with Nikki. And he's just looking at her and she's like covered in blood, but she's like still like looking all cute and all that. It's like it's a good shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that like slow pan down towards the One Wish Willow. Again, it goes back to what I was saying. Every shot of the One Wish Willow after it's been used looks so ominous and freaky. I love it. But yeah, so Bear dies, Nikki comes back and is surrounded by the dead bodies of her best friends. And then that's where it ends. So that is the ending of Obsession. Would you give me all your ending thoughts on, or all your thoughts really, Ari?
My thoughts was so far best movie of 2026 for me. And I I really liked it because like I'm gonna mention Yandere again, but like I've always wanted to see it like translated onto like real people. Because like the anime community, uh, Jacob's not into anime by the way, but like the anime community, they glorify Yandere's. They're like, oh, it's so cute. I want to be like that. I want to be like that. Like, no, you don't. Now you're seeing how messed up it actually fucking is, and like it's not something to glorify.
Yeah, dude, for real. It's like fucked up.
It really is. And like, I guess the difference between like, you know, they say love has a pure intent, but like it obviously does not because there's selfish love.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
goes back to that amazing line where it's like it's a love story but not a romance. Because romance is like pure and nice and has good intent, and love doesn't always have good intent. So yeah,
I agree with you.
it goes back to that amazing line of there's a line between romance and love.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how this movie, uses its horror to talk about like the loss of autonomy and consent and you know the whole friend zone mentality and how like most of the time out of the two parties the woman is the one who takes the most repercussions from
Yeah.
that friend zone nice guy mentality. And yeah, I love it. I think I agree. It's the best horror film of the year so far. I'm not sure it'll be topped, if I'm being quite honest. I mean, there's some other great horror movies coming out this year. You have the new Evil Dead, Evil Dead Burn coming out this year, and you also have Resident Evil coming out, which is going to be great. Um, but I don't, I just the more I watch Obsession, the more I'm like, this will not be topped, in my opinion, at least.
Well said.
Thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any more thoughts to say on Obsession. I think we got a lot of it out there.
And I'm glad that it blew up the way that it did. Like everyone's talking about it. It's
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely. I mean, it's currently doing better than the new Star Wars movie. Did you see that?
No, I didn't even know there was a new Star Wars movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just think, an independently made original horror film is beating a fucking Star Wars movie at the box office right now, right this moment.
Woo!
Can you imagine telling someone that a few years ago? It's
Right?
insanity. It's fucking insanity. It's great. Yeah, no. And if you haven't seen Obsession already, you shouldn't be listening to this part of the review. But if you don't care about spoilers, and if anything, us giving spoiler discussions has made you want to go see Obsession, you should go see it. Go support it in the theater. Keep it in theaters even longer because the more money the theaters make, the longer they're going to keep it there, and the more the theatrical business stays a business. So go see Obsession if you haven't already, or if you have already seen it already, watch it a second or third time. I've seen it 6 times now. I might make it a seventh. I don't know, but I mean, it's the more you watch, the more you take out of it, and the more stuff you notice, as we've
Yeah.
pointed out in this review. So even if you've already seen Obsession, go watch it again. See if you catch anything new. Maybe we missed some stuff. We probably did. Uh, and if there's anything that we missed, feel free to point them out in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. Um, any more closing thoughts, Ariane?
No.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I do have one more closing thought. I mentioned it during our intro and our ad break, and I believe if I did shoot an outro, I shot it like a few days ago, so I don't know. I did want to mention before we close things out here that we are giving away a One Wish Willow on our social medias. We'll be giving away one of these to a lucky fan. You just have to be following us on our socials and on the podcast. And I guess we'll have an official social media post with all the rules to enter. But yes, and as I said, these are sold out right now on the One Wish Willow store. So unless you want to pay scalper prices, this is one of your best chances to get your very own One Wish Willow. And wish for things. Hopefully not things as selfish as bear, but you can wish for things with these. And they do not hold any responsibility for wishes gone wrong. They wanted to make that very clear on the box. They are not responsible for any negative wishing side effects. But yeah, we're going to be giving away one of those. So stay tuned on our socials for that. And you could follow our social medias. Um, we are on Twitter at TalkTerraPod. We're also on Instagram at Talking Terra Podcast and TikTok, which is Talking Terra Podcast. We've actually started posting a little bit more on our TikTok with our Texas Frightmare weekend coverage. Um, which stay tuned for next week. We're going to be doing our Texas Frightmare weekend and our bonus Texas Horror Cult coverage for that episode. We're probably going to record that tonight as well because I'm going out of town tomorrow. So I'm getting all these recorded now so I could edit them and get them posted in time. But yeah, you can follow those social medias. We really do appreciate it. If you're listening on on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to leave us a like or a rating. I believe on Spotify it's just simply a like, and on Apple Podcasts it's a rating system. So do leave us a great rating. We really do appreciate it. If you're tuning in via the YouTube channel, you can subscribe to the channel to never miss an episode of Talking Terror or any of the other stuff I post here on the channel. You can hit like on the video if you enjoyed and leave a comment telling us your thoughts on Obsession, or you could tell us what you would wish for if you had a one wish below, if you haven't seen Obsession yet. Either or, just leave a comment and tell us what's up. All right, do you have any social medias to plug?
Yes. So my Instagram is little with two e's dot imp, and then my TikTok is dot little underscore imp, I think.
And you can follow me on my social medias. My personal Twitter is at Jacob at the movie. That's a movie, not movies. Twitter wouldn't give me the extra S. So Jacob at the movie. You can also follow me on Instagram, Jacob the Harper. My Facebook page, Jacob Harper, and my Letterboxd account if you want to see every single review I wrote for Obsession of the 6 times I saw it and some of my other smaller movie reviews. You can check out my Letterboxd, Jacob the Harper. Um, but yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Talking Terror. As usual, we thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week with our Texas Frightmare Weekend and Texas Horror Cult coverage video or coverage episode. Anything else, sorry?
No, peace.
Peace.